Last time on Square Roots, we rob an ailing man, turn off some lights, and save our friend's soft, ample behind. Later, we have a romantic encounter with a man and his motorcycle. I guess that makes us the third wheel.
So proud of yourself. Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
I want a nickname.
Matthew Squat Champ Van Zant.
That's me.
And Vanessa.
I want a nickname.
Vanessa Squat Champ.
No.
Vanessa.
Unacceptable. I am the squat champ.
Vanessa Honey Girl Vanessa.
All right.
John will be here eventually. He's absent currently, but he'll be here a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. He has an excused late start.
He does. And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And this is episode 3 of our Final Fantasy VII Remake series. This is the good chunker. This is the chunker everybody loves.
Obviously, I can't say until the end of the show whether I was roundly for or squarely against this chunker, so I will not.
It's a good chunker to kick off Pride Month.
That is
this
true.
This is the episode where it gets real gay.
True. And it's already been pretty gay, but now it gets real gay.
Real
Has
gay.
it been gay?
Hasn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Real representative, let's say.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a ton of neat stuff in this chunker. Before we get into that, though, who wants to level up first?
Level.
Matt.
Level. That's how I leveled up. No, I'm kidding.
That was
I
awesome.
watched some great movies. Well, they weren't great. I watched some okay movies, and I guess that's how I leveled up. I watched that new Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and it was pretty bad, Pretty bad.
Was it bad? Why was it bad?
It was just bad. It was just a real slapped together plot with I feel like Zachary Levi's the only thing holding that movie together, basically. Nothing else is interesting or particularly good. It's all real cheesy, and a lot of it feels like that written by Twitter style that's really becoming a big thing these days. And I didn't like it. Things just kind of happen, and unbelievable things happen, and the movie kind of fails to help you suspend your disbelief because it doesn't seem to care, But it had some good moments, and I think Zachary Levi really kills it as Shazam. And some of the kids are okay. It had Helen Mirren as one of the villains and Lucy Liu as one of the villains. That was fun. There was a lot of big, really expensive looking CGI that did actually look pretty good, with some dragons and cyclopses and minotaurs and all sorts of Greek monsters. And that was cool. It was fun. I watched it. I was like, this isn't very good, but I'm having fun. So I guess that's good enough. It's never getting a sequel, So who cares? I also watched John Wick 4. Y'all heard of those John Wick movies?
Yeah.
Vanessa, have you seen a John Wick movie? I feel like the interest is going to be
I've seen a John Wick movie. I've seen another John Wick movie. And that's all the John Wick movies I've seen.
I feel like you probably stopped at the right point because it's real diminishing returns with the old John Wick-averse. The movies still seem to think that I care, or I guess the viewer cares, about the hotel and the rules and the organization, and I just could not care less about any of that. It is not interesting. They continue to have great guest actors. Donnie Yen was in it and was amazing. Really, he was fantastic. And
He was great in that movie.
Who was the other one?
Are you talking about
Scott Adkins had a...
Scott Adkins, that's right. I liked his character.
He plays a German man in a real big fat suit. And when he starts throwing those big old high kicks around, you're kind of shocked. I didn't recognize him. I don't think I've ever seen a Scott Adkins movie, so I was not...
I had the same thing. I feel like I've seen him in stuff where he's cameoed or had a small part or something, but I've never seen like a Scott Adkins movie.
You know, the minute he started throwing those high kicks, I was like, that's got to be Scott Adkins. So I Googled him, and you could tell that it was, they made him up. They made him look different, but you could still see it in his face.
That was probably my favorite little fight scene in the movie. Well, one of them. There's like the overhead one is really good too.
Yeah, the overhead one's crazy. The stairs are a lot of fun. The end is good. Like, it's good, and I enjoyed it, and the fight scenes are incredible as always. So those definitely yank you along. Though I got to say, like, for a 2.5-hour movie, it sure felt like they spent 45 minutes setting up spinoffs that I don't give a shit about. I could not care less about any of your side characters. I'm here for John Wick doing murder, and I wish that they would get back to that and stop it with all the hotel drama bullshit and nonsense. I've heard that John Wick 5 is in development, so not a huge shocker there. But I liked it overall. I thought it was good movie that I really enjoyed, but definitely parts where I was just kind of like, boy, I don't care. But they don't spend a lot of time on that. They do jump right back into the action pretty quickly, so that's good. And that's it, I guess. I played a lot more Tears of the Kingdom. I found some crazy shit that I would like to quickly discuss, but it's a little spoilery, so if you don't want to hear it, Jim, cover your ears. Vanessa doesn't care because she'll never play it.
I don't mind.
Listeners, you might want to jump ahead a minute. I found a secret 5th temple in the game.
Who's Biff?
5th. 5, number 5. There are 4 temples in the game, and I found a 5th temple, and it wasn't really so much of a temple, but it still led me to a 5th secret sage, and the ability that she gave me is that I have a fucking giant robot now that I can jump on the back of, and I can attach cannons and flamethrowers and laser beams and fucking giant spiked balls and clubs and swords and shit to its hands, and I can run around Hyrule on the back of this giant fucking robot just destroying things, and I cannot fucking believe it. Like, I could have finished this game a week ago, and I just kept poking around at the edges of the game. I had no idea what I was getting into. Nothing like hinted me towards this thing. I just kind of saw a Sky Island that I hadn't done and was like, I guess I'll go check that out. And once I got inside, it unlocked this quest, and I went and did this whole thing, and at the end of it, I just couldn't fucking believe it. Like, what a crazy thing to hide in the game. I also got the Master Sword, which is something else that is not, I think, integral to the plot. Maybe it is, but it sure doesn't seem like it, because I could have finished the game. But instead, I did some quests, and there's some real heavy plot stuff involved with it, and I got the Master Sword. And the funny thing was, then I went and I found that secret 5th sage, and she was like, now I'll tell you about the Master Sword. Oh wait, you already have the Master Sword. So that was cool. Like, just crazy fucking secrets that they've built into that game that I cannot believe. I just can't believe it, but I'm pretty close to the end. I really could wrap it up at any time. I just have a few more corners I want to poke my nose into, you know? We'll see what happens. What about you, Vanessa? How did you level up?
Well, I haven't done very many new things, so I'll expand on things I was already doing before. I played a lot more Fallout 76, some with Johnny and some without. I have been enjoying exploring the world and finding weird, creepy, random things. I guess spoilers for Fallout 76, if anyone cares about that. Johnny and I were walking along a road, and we came across a man in a nice suit called the Smiling Man. And he seemed to heavily imply that he was the devil himself. And he just stood there and smiled at us the whole time, had a little conversation, and then went about his way. It was weird. It was unexpected. It was very Fallout. I love that kind of stuff. I also found a Mr. Gusty robot named Mr. Farmhand. When I went over to talk to him, his name changed to Mr. Bandit, and he started saying, "This is a stick-up. Give me all your stuff. Give it to me." But he didn't actually have any weapons or ability to hold me up at all. He just kept insisting that he was robbing me. And the longer I went without giving him my things, the more insistent he became, and then I just walked away. It was great. I love those kind of little moments. Reminds me a lot of some of the things that pop up in Baldur's Gate. I've also been watching a docuseries through Hulu, but I think it's airing on FX, called The Secrets of Hillsong. Can't remember if I talked about that on the show or not.
We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that continues. And it is, of course, at the time of recording, the darkest of days because Taskmaster Season 15 has come to a close. We have a new champion, and now begins the long wait until the 21st of this month when the new season of Taskmaster New Zealand premieres. So I guess it's 2 weeks of winter in the middle of June, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I guess probably watch some Taskmaster reruns or watch some of the international versions that I haven't gotten fully into, or read my Taskmaster book, or maybe go on the Taskmaster Reddit and discuss Taskmaster, or I might listen to the official Taskmaster podcast or to the other official Taskmaster podcast.
You have a Taskmaster problem. I feel like we might need to have an intervention.
Could it be an intervention where you give me a series of challenges to complete, and then I compete against 4 other Taskmaster fans to see who can win the intervention trophy at the end of a series of 10 episodes?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Let's do it.
Awesome! Yeah! Let's do it. And I guess that's how I leveled up. I can't think of anything else, and so I apologize to you, Jim.
Didn't you go out
Matt.
somewhere and get all drunk? I remember you getting
Did
drunk.
I?
I think you talked about that. You talked about spilling water or alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, that
yeah.
was the weekend before. This weekend, I really didn't do anything. I tried to make a pot of risotto, but I didn't have any fresh thyme, so I used...
Why are you pronouncing that like Gordon Ramsay does?
That's how it's
Risotto.
said. How else would you
Risotto?
say it?
Risotto? Risotto? What's
No, it
risotto?
said
That's how
risotto.
that's how the
It's
gringos
dry! Don't
Did you
get
just say the gringos?
say. Yeah.
Okay, you're canceled. Get off this show.
Anyway, I substituted dry time for fresh time, and I didn't reduce the amount of time because I didn't realize that you had to use a kind of 1/3 to 1 proportional reduction where you're using dried herbs versus fresh herbs, and so it just it was too timey, it was inedible, it made me real sad. My power had gone out that morning, so I didn't have power until like the middle of the morning. It was a terrible day. And that's why I played so much Fallout 76 that I have now outpaced Johnny in leveling. But I think it's going to be okay because that game seems to level enemies proportionally to you, but also, like, because we were in a party and Johnny would see the enemies at his level and I would see them at mine. So I think that it adjusts enemies based on, like, who is damaging them. It's pretty cool.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is neat. So it can like nerf people if there's too high a level and they're trying to kill you?
Well, the PvP thing is really opt-in. So if you have pacifist mode on, other players can't really hurt you at all. And then all of the enemies in the game spawn to your level. There's still some difficulty with, like, super mutants are harder to kill, so if you have low-level equipment, it will still be a very difficult fight, even though they're leveled proportionally to you. So I like that about it. It makes it feel less punishing to explore things and to try things. And also when you die, you lose the junk you collected, but you keep all of your armor and guns and things like that.
So, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's really no experience penalty or anything like that. So if you aren't gathering junk, you can just explore the whole map and enjoy yourself without stressing about it.
Do you lose all of your like health items too, like your Rad-X and?
No, you only lose the junk items that are used to build camp and craft things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I add something to your level up really quick?
Yes.
I just want to say, going back to your risotto story, damn, the risotto's dry. It's a goddamn shame.
I do admit that when I make it, I do kind of think about Gordon Ramsay.
How can you not? All right, how did I level up? Well, I watched a movie called How to Blow Up a Pipeline. I haven't talked about this, have I?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think so. The movie it's like a thriller, kind of like a edge of your seat thriller kind of thing, but it revolves around this central cast of characters. I think there's 6 or 7 of them that come together in West Texas with a plan to blow up an oil pipeline in 2 different places. 2 places that they chose to minimize the environmental impact and maximize the effect on the oil industry. It's really good. The movie kind of goes into the background of each character to like help you understand why they're doing what they're doing, and there's also like some thriller elements of like, is this person a government informant or not? And all the acting is really good. It's a really good movie, and I would suggest checking it out. I rented it on Amazon Prime. It's a really good tense thriller with some really interesting ethical questions that kind of tie into what Avalanche is dealing with. The ethical considerations of, property destruction and potential harm to communities. It's very interesting. What else did I do? I guess that's pretty much it. Well, I guess I should say that season 3 of I Think You Should Leave has released as of a couple days ago. And it's wonderful. The sketches are funny. I like it. I will. Vanessa's looks like she's going to throw up.
Vanessa's just here for the zip line.
Take it.
Vanessa's my shirt brother.
Look, I can do it too, I can quote things like, hello, my wife. Oh, I'm quoting things. It's funny.
So we sat quietly while you talked about Taskmaster for 10 solid minutes.
It was 1 minute at the most, and Johnny loves Taskmaster.
Like a year.
And I think that's it for my level up. Johnny, how did you level up?
Hi. Well, I leveled up by
You
playing.
met the smiling man.
I did meet the Smiling Man. Did you talk about him already?
Mm-hmm.
I did meet the Smiling Man. I was playing quite a bit of Fallout 76. I leveled down. Did you know that Vanessa could harass you with a tuba?
I mean, I can imagine it for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She started playing the tuba, saying, "This is you walking," And
Oh no.
Vanessa.
That is not exactly what happened.
is it a little bit what happened?
It's a little bit what happened. What happened exactly is I built a tuba. Johnny said, "Don't harass me by playing that tuba and saying it's me walking." And then, of course, I had to harass him by playing the tuba
Yeah,
and
you
saying
did.
it was him walking. He didn't leave me a choice.
Yep. And she would do. Then she built one at my camp so that the lady who works at my camp just will randomly play the tuba all the time to harass me, and I can't destroy it because it's a gift. That would be very rude.
Yeah, I do really love that you can build things at your teammates' camps.
Yep.
Because it lets me leave little gifts for Johnny like that.
Uh-huh. I've definitely been playing and enjoying quite a lot of Fallout 76. Well, actually, not this week. I haven't done that much just because I was trying to catch up with this game, and this game's long. Long.
What game?
But Final Fantasy VII Remake. Game long. But I also have been playing Birth of the Wild. So, yeah.
Did you ever beat that
and
Thunder Ganon?
I did.
Wow.
I did. Okay. So,
Got some rubber pants.
have now. I had to get some rubber pants because the guide. I haven't been using a guide at all, but after getting stuck on stupid rubber Ganon, I didn't have any electric potions. You know what? I didn't use any potions at all. And I think that's been my problem. Because with regular combat, you don't have to use potions, but I guess for boss fights, you really need.
I mean, it helps, you know. I think we talked about it a bit, and I told you that. I think that's the toughest fight in the game, for sure.
Okay.
And it's definitely the one where you do have to either get some armor or get some potions and de-electrify yourself, or you're going to get fucked. Just because lightning attacks are kind of the most powerful, and they really, you know, they knock your weapons away. They really fuck you up. So
Yeah.
certainly
Now that I got
certainly Calamity Ganon is like a joke fight. Like, it's not hard. You don't need to do anything.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So I asked Matthew for help. He helped me get past the second stage, but the third stage, because I didn't have any potions.
What's the third stage?
That's the one where it's like the first one, except now he's electrified. And so even if you're blocking, he'll zap you.
Yeah.
So unless you have electrical protection. So so I would call it the second big dungeon, but you can do them in any order. So I don't know.
Oh, is
I
this
just
only
did
your
the
second? I assumed you were on your last one.
No, this is number 2.
Oh wow. What's the? I think a lot of people do the Gerudo last. I think that's one of the hardest areas in the game for sure. And you had to do all that Yiga stuff. Yeesh.
Yeah, that Yiga
It's supposed to be an
was-
open world, but like all games, some parts are harder than others. It doesn't like auto level everything with you. That's
Well, and it doesn't give you really any feedback that this is too hard for you. So it's like, all right, I don't know. I'll just the first one I did
you
was
got through it.
Fishman. Yeah, I got through it.
who's the first one you did?
Fishman.
Yeah.
You know, the elephant. And now
It really shoves
I've
you that
done
way early.
Gerudo, and I did a few more shrines today, so that was really fun. I did the Thunder Shrine where you have to like use thunder to break open a rock to find a shrine.
Oh, that one's
And
good.
there's
Yeah.
a Birdman with an accordion there.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great. So my puzzle solving to get lightning to destroy that shrine, the rock covering the shrine, was to stand on top of it, and then I got hit by lightning, and puzzle solved.
Great job.
Yeah. Other finding all the okay. So this is dungeon number 2, and I was trying to find all these terminals in this camel. That broke my brain for a while.
Yeah, those are tough.
Trying to figure out how to get the last 2.
They're so enclosed that like
Yeah.
Excuse me, did you say you were trying to find terminals in a camel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big Robo camel mech.
Yeah.
That's the dungeon is in the shape of a camel.
Yeah, there's 4 dungeons in that game, and they're all giant Robo, not really robots, but they're like giant mechanical animals. One's a whale, no, one's an elephant, one's a camel.
Don't
That's
spoil
all I
it
said.
for me.
You already did the elephant and the camel.
And I've seen a third one. Why do you ask?
Amazing.
Vanessa?
I love it. Continue.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. And like the design of them is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like they look incredible.
They make you they force you to like move the world around you to find stuff and to do stuff, which is kind of difficult. Like each one has in the elephant you can move the trunk. I can't remember what you can move in the camel.
In the camel one, it's like you can rotate the barrels in the middle, but there's also ways to rotate the camel's head, or to move the camel's head and the camel's tail.
Yeah, and you have to like move them around and get to stuff. They're interesting.
Yeah, and so it's the camel's tail part that I didn't fully discover.
Tears of the Kingdom did away with them being big animals, but they're temples now, but they're still basically the same premise of like find 4 or 5 things and then you get to fight the boss.
Right. Yeah, so I've been enjoying that. I still said I hate this game today because I was getting so mad at it that I had to go and prepare for a boss fight with stuff that does not... well, what is happening?
Absolutely fucking burned. Jim is literally on fire.
Vanessa's talking shit in the group chat. my casual casual pose.
Oh, okay. So I've really been enjoying it.
I'm glad that you're getting into it.
Frustrating.
I think it's a great game, but it is obtuse.
And in some ways, like defeating Shiva requires the same kind of concentration as defeating Ganon. Like, you have to really pay attention to what moves. The only good thing with Final Fantasy VII is it does tell you what they're doing on top of their heads. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit easier than fighting Ganon there. But I see why people really like this game. It's so pretty. I still find it a little frustrating. I'm even getting into talking to people, and I found the writing so annoying when I first started the game. I don't know why. I found it off-putting, and now I'm getting into all the the dumb people that you meet.
There's so much like vital information hidden behind just random fucking people, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yep. But they're fun. They're stupid but fun. So yeah, I guess that's been my big level up. I also rewatched Kunk on Earth. What a great show.
What did you just say?
So good.
Oh, Kunk on Earth.
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Kunk on Earth.
Come Connor. What's that?
Is it a parody of a travel show?
It's a parody of one of those like Earth history documentaries, like sort of the James what's his name? The guy who did Connections and The Day the Universe Changed, and I should know his name.
I've never heard of any of this.
1 second. The Day the Universe... Sorry about this. James Burke. So it's sort of a parody of those James Burke style documentaries of this is where civilization started. Here's where civilization is going. And she, it's cut to I'm in Constantinople now where this happened. But she's just really uninterested in history. And and she's interviewing experts and just being like, so books, why should we care?
Yeah. Or
real experts or actor experts?
Real experts.
Like real experts.
Okay.
She was interviewing like a mathematician, and she's like, who's her friend that she always brings up, John?
Paul.
Yeah, she's like, my friend Paul told me that that big numbers are a conspiracy and that numbers actually stop at 700. How do you feel about that?
They start over from the beginning.
I'm surprised Vanessa hasn't watched that. It's very much up your alley. It's very British humor, dry.
Yeah.
And she plays just
like
the stupidest fucking person you've ever imagined.
Yeah.
I love when she's describing philosophy and she's like, philosophy is the study of like is thinking about thinking, and if that sounds pointless, it's because it is.
Or where she says to the lady, you might say Jesus is the first real victim of cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
And the
woman's
lady's like,
no.
uh-huh. And she's like, no, you might actually, I want you to say it. Look into the camera and say it, so he uses a clip for the trailer.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so it's definitely a good show. And worth a couple of rewatches because there's a lot of the jokes come so fast in it too, which is really great. And I love those James Burke documentaries. I love those, so it's really fun seeing a parody of that kind of show. I always wanted to do a parody of that kind of show too. Like that was something me and my first boyfriend always talked about writing. So it's fun seeing something like that. Yeah.
Parodies are fun.
And yeah. Anyway, yeah.
John,
so
do you have a game this week?
Oh shit!
I do actually.
Forgot all about John's game.
Oh yeah. Johnny's stupid game. What's it called?
Johnny's overrated game.
Johnny's overrated.
Or this game is overrated. Whichever you want to. What do you think's more catchy?
I like Johnny's overrated game. I like you having
this
ownership of
game's
it.
overrated. That's a fun. Feels more like a real thing and less like a goofy amateur thing we're doing on a stupid amateur podcast.
Wow.
All right, so this game is overrated.
Wow, look at that, Vanessa. You gave your opinion, I gave my opinion, and look who he chose.
I know who his favorite is.
Yeah, we all
He didn't get that Matt tattoo for nothing.
That's true. Oh, did you like my Cloud and the Muscleman tank top?
It's
Oh, there's a
wonderful.
cloud down there. Jim, shut up. Shut up, Jim.
Sorry, my girlfriend's just going to the bar without me because I got to record the stupid podcast with you guys.
Well,
Yeah, you
maybe you
do.
should have planned your fucking day better. What do you want from us?
He's just showing off that he has a girlfriend again.
Yeah, I know. What a fucking
We could all have girlfriends, Jim. Some of us choose to internalize our power by
Watching Taskmaster.
watching Taskmaster.
The day the universe changed is the guy who hosts James Burke. He looks so much like my dad, like so much like my dad that, and he was the guy. So James Burke was the guy who did the moon landing coverage for England.
He does look like your
Oh.
dad.
I put his picture in the chat, and so my mom had a crush on him. And then she met my dad, who looks just like him.
I mean, do we not all kind of do
Amazing.
that? I remember when I
Yeah.
first started dating my ex-wife, I was really into Scrubs. And my ex-wife looks a little bit like Elizabeth Banks, like in the face. And I remember
wow.
me being like, you kind of look like Elizabeth Banks. I'm going to put some babies in you.
That's a great pickup line.
Well, no, that wasn't my pickup line. My pickup line was, hey, girl, let me get up in them guts.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Vanessa's face is sinking in on itself.
Vanessa has passed out. She is
Wow,
fainted.
Vanessa has deflated into the couch. I thought that was a side effect of marijuana use.
Yeah, you think
I
I'd
would
be doing
never. Never try marijuana. Don't try
You
it
know
at
the worst
all.
part about that bullshit song, Vanessa?
It's a lie.
Do you
It's
know,
like beating your head against the wall.
those things cost the U.S. taxpayers like probably that album, and this is not a joke, probably something like $30 million. Like
What?
For the Scruff McGruff Don't Do Drugs album.
just those don't do drugs PSAs were like a scam that people were making millions and millions of dollars off of.
I've never heard that. I mean, everything's
Yeah.
a scam, let's be honest. No. All right, well, is that Johnny's level up? Or we get ready to get into
Yeah.
Johnny's stupid game?
Yeah, Johnny's just gonna get a drink.
Have a beer. You
That's
gotta
a
go to work.
great idea.
No,
Maybe
Johnny
I'll
has to
have a
work.
drink too.
Johnny has to work tonight. It's like
Oh, you do have to
9
work
a.m.
tonight.
Johnny time.
I'm going to get a drink.
Hey, Johnny, happy Pride Month. I was saying before you came on.
That's more of an
This is a great episode to kick off Pride Month because this episode
that's more
is
of an American thing. Canadian Pride's usually during August.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Well, never mind. No Happy Pride Month to you. Happy Pride Month to our American listeners.
It would be cool if Pride Month was in April.
June.
That way we could call it Gapril.
I feel like
I think
Toronto
April
has
has
their Pride in
other
June.
connotations.
It could.
Well, if it was in May, we could just call it gay. The month of gay.
That's true.
That would be perfect.
That's true.
Like
Yeah,
May
happy-
1st instead
happy
of May
Pride.
Day would be May Gay.
April. Jesus Christ, Jim. Like, just thinking it through a little.
So
I can smell that.
Are
I wish it was
Amanda's
in March
parents
so we could call it
okay with this, Jim?
Garch.
He said that Amanda's dad's
Yeah.
upstairs doing the same thing.
Oh,
It's legal.
okay.
He's in
Okay.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I love what city in Colorado?
I'm in Pueblo.
Oh, okay. I've only been to like around Denver and Colorado Springs.
All right, I want to talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
Final
Colorado
Fantasy
Springs
VII already.
isn't too far from here.
Let's do this stupid
Yeah,
game.
let's get to this game.
No, we want to play
yeah.
the stupid game.
I'm saying,
All
let's
right,
get to the game.
I've got it. Game number 1. Are you all
No,
ready?
You have to tell us the rules, tell us the standings.
Okay. So
And legitimately, I don't
remember
remember the rules, so.
Okay. Hold on, let me get... Where are Johnny's standings? Oh, it's in here? Sorry. I was trying to figure out where...
I know the rules. Johnny's going to read a GameFAQs or similar forum thread that describes a game that we've played as overrated. John is going to
Yes.
read these clues without saying names of the game's characters or the name of the game itself.
Yeah, or villain. Yeah, I won't say
Yes,
the player
yeah, or
characters. I
villain.
won't say the villains.
And once we know, we buzz in, and if we are correct, we get a point.
Yeah, and everyone gets an opportunity to steal after someone gets it wrong, but you never get out of the game because you'll always have a chance to come back in. So that way you can make as many dumb guesses as you want without feeling bad about yourself.
All right.
Right now the standings are Vanessa 6, Jim 3, Matthew 3. Big comeback for Big M. All right, here is game number 1. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I don't think this game is bad. I want to emphasize that. It's not a bad game. I even agree that it's one of the best this series games. But I do think this game is overrated. I've heard for years how great this game is, how it's one of, if not the best RPG ever made. I've even seen it listed as one of the best games ever made, period. Even Ben Yahtzee Croshaw said it was great, and that's saying something. I can certainly see how you people love this game back when it came out, but I didn't play it back then. Playing it right now, and I've got to tell you,
Buzz.
it's not that great, Vanessa.
Final Fantasy VII?
Incorrect.
Oh, no.
Anyone want to steal that?
Yes.
Keep going. Oh.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VI.
Correct!
No!
That's the third game in a row you put Final Fantasy VI in, John.
So
What? No, that's not true.
Point still
I don't think
counts.
It
it's
is true.
It is true.
Nope.
It is
I don't
true.
think
It's
so.
the third game in a row you put Final
Yep.
Fantasy VI as one of the answers.
That doesn't sound like something I would do. I'm very good. I keep on top of things, and I would never repeat the same game 3 times.
Ridiculous. The sham. This whole game is a sham.
Okay, I have to scroll through like 8 pages of this. Game number 2. On the recommendation of countless Reddit posts that declared this game for the Xbox 360 to be some kind of masterpiece and underrated la gem of eons, I picked it up and played about 10 painful
Buzz.
hours of it. Matthew.
Lost Odyssey.
Correct.
Wow.
All right, so Matthew's 5.
Storming
Prison.
the castle.
Oh, no. I got to get on the
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah. Game number 3. I'm not trolling, just speaking out my disappointment with this game. I was pretty excited about this game since I loved the first one. I didn't buy it right away since I was finishing up a number of good games, but I did manage to get it a couple of weeks ago. I saw all the 9.75s.
Buzz.
Jim.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
It is not Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be great, and it wasn't.
Steal?
Seriously, what's so...
Wait,
Oh,
don't I
what?
get the chance to
Oh,
steal?
sorry. Yes. Vanessa gets a chance to steal.
Dragon Age 2?
Incorrect.
Buzz.
Matthew?
Mass Effect 2.
Correct!
No!
Oh!
All right, now Matthew and Vanessa tied for first.
Woo!
Awful.
Wow. Who saw that coming?
I've handed him both his points, too, on the silver
It's
platter.
I have 3 points.
It's true.
I meant
Okay.
both today.
No, I have 3 points.
Game
today.
number 4. First of all, I have to say I've beaten a few of this series of games, and I haven't played the sequel yet. And I enjoyed this game, but it has a lot of flaws. I haven't noticed them 14 years ago when I first played it. Halfway through the game before losing my PS2 memory card. The first flaw, I noticed that the cutscenes were way too cheesy. This
Buzz.
includes... Vanessa?
Final Fantasy X?
Correct!
Wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
Vanessa back in the lead. She got the clue about it having a sequel
Yeah.
and being part of a series and on PS2. That was good. That was good, Vanessa.
Thank you.
All right. Game number 5. So in my stream, I do this thing where I roll for random retro consoles and video games. Then I have to play and beat those games. However, if you sub, you get to pick any game you want. Somebody chose this game. I heard a lot about this game, so I was excited at first, but after playing it, what a giant piece of shit!
Wow.
Why do you guys like this trash?
Buzz.
One of the first... Jim.
Kingdom Hearts.
Incorrect. I've already
Steal.
done... Oh, what? Oh. Vanessa?
Baldur's Gate.
Incorrect.
Steel. Rogue
Matthew?
Galaxy.
Incorrect.
All right.
Yeah, all right,
All
let's
right,
keep going.
Moving on.
Buzz.
Jim?
A Bard's Tale.
Incorrect.
Nobody likes that game.
Does anyone want to
That's the guy
steal?
that's called it a piece of shit.
All right. Let's try for some more clues here.
Yeah, there's been 0 clues so far. Literally 0 clues.
Yep. One of the first things you'll notice is shopping, using items, and equipping armor makes little sense. When shopping, no equipments display any stats. This means you have no idea if the equipment you're about to buy is any better or worse than the equipment you already own. Shit, you don't even know if you already own it. Items are no better. There are 0 descriptions as to what any of the items do, and they all have crazy weird names
Buzz.
like Wish of the Gods. Matthew?
Fantasy Star. Fantasy Star 4? Is that the one we played? Fantasy Star 3.
Incorrect.
Dang.
That's 4. Anyone want to steal?
Steal it up.
All right, they have crazy weird names like Wish of the Gods. What the fuck does that do? So you buy some random shit. Here you go. Here's your clues. Barrels, turnips, a Wish of the God. And you buy all the equipment
Buzz.
for sale. Jim?
Secret of Mana.
What?
Secret of Mana.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, it is.
Yep. Turnips. Good
On
job,
the-
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim is on the board.
Yeah, Jim's on the board. Last place, Jim.
Are we doing a bonus question? A bonus character
There
question?
is a bonus question.
Yay.
Yeah, this is a character. Okay. Without blank and blank to distract enemies, she does not function well. Blank and blank can be one-man armies. Her job is to build stagger, which she does well. But to control mobs, she is far more reliant on materia than her 2 friends.
Buzz.
On the
Buzz.
flip...
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And which character?
Oh, character, sorry. It's Aerith.
Incorrect.
Wow.
Buzz.
Steal.
All right.
Buzz.
You
Me.
both said it at
Jim-
the same
Jim
time.
buzzed
but
first.
I was
Jim's
not the
I
same
right.
buzzed
time.
in
I
with
was
Matt, though,
way ahead.
too. Doesn't
I
that...
was way ahead.
All right.
I buzzed before
Sorry,
you, though.
sorry, Vanessa. I'm
Tifa, Final Fantasy VII
you're
That's
Remake.
correct.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy. She's the best character in the fucking game. The person that wrote that is legitimately an idiot. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't want to be
All
mean,
right,
but
so-
wow.
We have Vanessa with 7. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matthew with 6, and Jim with 5.
I thought Jim
Pretty
and I
good.
were tied.
Right.
Jim got one.
You were.
not
You got 3
anymore.
points that last one. I got
Jim
2.
just got his second one. He got 2. I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
Yeah. So that's Johnny's stupid game.
Wow.
Let's
Anyone's
talk about
game,
the
huh?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great when John's not playing and dominating the fucking game.
Yeah.
This is the best chunker of this game.
It's good.
Did you like chapter 8?
No.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's great if you like walking with Aerith or climbing a ladder with Aerith
Walking
or
slowly
crossing a
with
bridge
Aerith.
with Aerith.
Yeah.
The game wants this to be like a real meet cute with Aerith, but it doesn't work for me because I'm already in love with Tifa. Like I'm all Tifa. It's funny because in the original Final Fantasy, I was definitely like, ooh, Aerith's fantastic. But in this one, I'm like, Aerith's like a child. Can I go hang out with the adult, please? I live with
do
my
like
mom
how
and don't have a
much
job.
She makes fun of Cloud.
Yeah.
She's an independent businesswoman. She's a florist.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew, she does have a job.
Yeah, she's a small business owner.
Yeah.
Tifa owns a bar.
They're the backbone of America, Matthew.
I guess Tifa is also a small business owner, yeah.
Yeah, they're
So,
both
actually,
business owners.
Let's talk about meeting Aerith. So we fall from the Sector 5 plate at the end of the last chunker, and we were able to slow our descent a little bit by using our grappling gun right there at the end, but we fall into the Sector 5 slums and directly into Aerith's little flower garden.
It's a church.
Yeah, it's a church.
It's
I
weird
looked
because
around
there's
for
literally
symbology to indicate the denomination of this church, but I didn't see any.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Yeah,
weird because there's no mention of like religion really. You know, people don't seem to like.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
Aerith has
Yeah.
like a praise spell, but other than that, like people don't like talk about gods or religion.
Maybe they used to believe, and then their whole sector got squished, and they're like, there is no God.
Oh, maybe they. Used
I think
to
I
believe, but now
learned
they only
this-
believe in capitalism under Shinra.
Yeah.
I think I learned this in Crisis
Take
Core,
that,
maybe,
atheists.
but I know that the ancients had a deity that they called the goddess, but people assumed that it was like a manifestation of the life stream. Just throwing that out there. Also, to tie this back to Crisis Core a little bit, how Cloud and Aerith meet is exactly how Zack and Aerith meet in Crisis Core.
Yeah, well,
That's
don't spoil
awful.
Crisis Core for us, please, because we
That's-
haven't
It
played
is very
terrible.
lazy. Yeah, super lazy.
That is so disappointing, Jim. Come on. Yeah, they meet exactly the same way. Come on, Najima. Get your head in the game.
No, you see it rhymes. It's like a cyclical story.
Get out of here, George Lucas.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we're not supposed to say the Z word yet.
I did not bleep it last
Zidane?
week, or the week before when I was editing.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's too late.
Zanzibar?
Zach.
Zeus.
Zack
Oh.
Attack. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
she hasn't said
we-
his name yet.
Yeah, she does in this chunker.
She references him. She doesn't say
so-
his name.
She says it, but the game mutes it.
Cloud can't
Oh, that's
hear it.
right. The game mutes
Yeah,
it
the
because
game
Cloud
mutes
has another PTSD attack or whatever the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
To him.
So we're in Aerith's church, and I don't remember exactly what she says to you here. You do your little intro. You says, "Oh, I'm Cloud. I'm this member, soldier first class."
She hires you as a bodyguard, and
mercenary.
the pay is
Yeah.
going to be one date with her,
All right.
which is convenient because
Cloud
then Rena
agrees
walks through the
to,
door.
Strangely.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
one thing I like is Cloud can't say no to people because I guess he's... I don't want to say the words because it might be offensive. But Cloud's in a mental state, I feel like, where he can only agree with people because he has no thoughts of his own, basically. That is genuinely what I think is going on, and why he agrees to do every stupid thing people ask him to do.
Yeah.
And can't seem to have his own opinions because he doesn't.
I don't know. That feels like a stretch. It's a video game, and your main character is going to just do everything they're asked, like in every video game.
But he will go every time.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants to hang out and play video
let's
games like the rest of us, but...
I want to talk
That
about
works
Reno
for you.
for a second. Because I think Reno is.
Well, why don't you
a
talk about
super
his
cool
introduction
badass.
then? Oh my god.
Yeah, Reno walks in, and he's there for Aerith, and Cloud's like, that guy's a Turk. What's a Turk doing here? And Aerith is like, I don't want to go with him. Please be my bodyguard. Let's get out of here. And so he's with a bunch of Shinra troops, and you have to fight the Shinra troops. And then once you fight the Shinra troops, then you get to fight Reno. This Reno fight is cool. I like Reno. I like Reno's whole attitude. I like how childish he and Reno are. Or I'm sorry, he and Rude are. Do you guys remember that cutscene in the original where you just get a weird cut to, like, what are the Turks up to? And it's Reno and Rude walking through, like, a grassland. And Rude admits that he has a crush on Tifa. Because they're like, who out of the main party do you have a crush on?
Oh, yeah.
And Rude's like, Tifa? There's a really fun callback to that in the next chunker. I'm excited.
He has a real Kingdom Hearts design too. Like, he's wearing a suit and he's got like these goggles and this spiky red hair. I don't know, for some reason it just looks like he should be part of
looked like
organization.
in the original character
Yeah.
art. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's his face, Nomura, that designed him, and designed most of the Organization 13 folks. So he's definitely like short hair Axel kind of vibe.
He does look like Axel, yeah. You're right.
It is a
and
little weird that all of the NPCs in this game look like people you would see on the street today. Like their clothes are contemporary.
Well, they look like somebody you'd see on the
hairstyles are
street
more or
like
less
6 or 7 years ago with their undercuts and fucking fades and
Yeah, I guess
emo
that's
boy
true.
haircuts, like comb over eye,
Yeah.
combed over the
But
side
all
of
of
your
the
face
main
haircuts.
characters look like fancy anime people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was my first fight where I beat it so fast I was a little confused, and then remembered that I put it on easy mode last week.
Right.
I didn't turn it off easy mode. You know?
Not ever?
I had to
I've played this game.
redo-
I don't need the challenge. Thank you.
I had to redo. I died once, but once I did, I was like, "Oh, there's very quick ways to." So yeah,
You have to block a bunch,
it's Reno-
basically. He staggers by getting
You have to block a
blocked.
bunch, and triple slash immediately kills most of the mines. So that's a good way
Yeah.
to deal with those very quickly. But I really, this was the fight where I didn't know how to parry properly, and there's a couple of points where you have to parry to finish the fight, basically. It was a hard problem for me the first time, but this time, really not that big of a deal. You have to pay attention and make sure you don't get like zapped by his zappy thing, as that can put Cloud immediately into a what do you call that? Crippled. He just sort of can't move.
Somebody pointed out on Facebook that there is a perfect parry materia you can pick up that allows you to dodge while in Punisher mode. You can't get it yet. Ooh. You get the mission in Chapter 9, but you can't actually complete the mission till Chapter 10, which is frustrating. But
I think you can
that's
actually
handy.
finish those whenever you want, right? As like
No, you can't,
get the
because
mission.
you have to
that
build
one's based
stagger.
on stagger.
You have to build stagger to
200%,
200, and only Tifa can do that at this point. And you don't play with her again until
okay, I
Chapter
gotcha.
10.
Okay, I got you.
I managed to complete that mission as soon as I got Tifa back, like immediately. It was great. That's next week. That's right. I played the game so much today, I got 2 chapters ahead. I guess I'm finally into it. Took a while.
Hey,
Took a little while.
nice. So we defeat Reno, and we're trying to get out of this church. And
Yeah,
oh my
defeat
gosh,
is like lightly
these
defeat because we
specters.
beat him, but we
Yeah.
still have to like run away from all his men.
Yeah, and what do you know? Like, as we're running away, a bunch of those weirdos specters show up. Those things that I guess we called the whispers too early.
I don't know
Well,
why
hey,
that would matter.
they
I
call-
mean, it's
I
not
mean,
like that's
they-
a defined.
Yeah.
It's not like that's a descriptive
The
name.
UI calls them whispers.
No, for me
when
it
you
calls
target
them. It calls them specters.
Specters.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, maybe I misread that then.
But it's interesting. Whereas earlier they seemed to be kind of antagonistic. Now, like at one point, Aerith is leaning on like the edge of the like upper balcony, and it gives away, and she's about to fall down, and one of the whispers flies underneath her and helps her up. So it's like, oh,
I find all
what's
this
going on
whisper
with
stuff
these
really
guys?
annoying. Like, can you just remake Final Fantasy VII? Do we have to do this weird like reboot? Fucking, what's
No,
it
I
called
like
when a
it.
comic book? What's it called when a comic book changes something like from like an old comic book? It's not a reboot.
A
Retcon.
A retcon, yeah. It's like a weird retcon thing, and it kind of annoys me. Like, can we just fucking... Do we have to do this?
I really like it. That's the only that's what got me to actually like the game. Is that
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it
isn't
too.
Yeah,
that
me
they
too.
totally are messing
That's
with.
because you
your
guys think that Aerith's
expectations.
going to survive, and she's not. They're still going to kill her.
I do
What if they
think
kill
that.
Tifa
How did
instead?
you know?
They're definitely still going to kill her. It's the fucking
No way.
defining moment of the fucking series. They're still going to kill her, for sure. Maybe
That's
this
why
time
it's
she'll
gonna
like
be
give
so
her life
amazing to
intentionally.
usurp it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna kill her. Honestly.
It's
Yeah.
like the new Scream movies. It's like it sets something up, and then your expectations are like, "Whoa! Oh my God! Everyone
a-
lived."
Terrible metaphor because those movies are awful.
I agree with that. Although I
So-
did like Jack Quaid in the first new one.
I mean, Jack Quaid's a great actor.
Cute.
Did y'all see the preview for Strange New World Season 2 with Boimler and Beckett? Tawny Newsome
No, but I
and
saw some
Jack
pictures,
Quaid?
and I
No.
did enjoy them.
What?
Tawny Newsome and Jack
Oh,
Quaid are
that-
going to show up on the next season of Strange New Worlds as Boimler and Beckett. I'm fucking
What?
stoked.
That's really cool.
Also, I guess this is just kind
But
of a
wasn't
random
Stranger
aside.
Worlds like 40 years
Yes.
before?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Also, I don't know. I probably don't need to say this, but I will. I found out today that Paramount has put all of season 1 of Strange New Worlds on YouTube. You can watch it
Oh.
for free.
Oh.
So if you
Oh,
don't have Paramount and
interesting.
you wanted to check that out, it is all available on YouTube for free. Great idea, I think.
Oh,
Fantastic idea.
I think I might catch up on Star Trek and watch that terrible second season of Picard and stuff.
So bad. It was not good.
Yeah, so they like
Season 3 was good.
Cloud and Aerith are being pursued by Reno and soldiers, or I guess city police or whatever they're called. But the spirits are blocking the way so that they can't get to Cloud in time, and it's pretty cool. I really like this twist a lot. And I know Matthew doesn't.
I
I like that
don't
the
dislike it overall, like in the moment in the game, but I don't dislike it in the moment in the game. But overall, I feel like it frustrates me that they're just gonna retcon Final Fantasy VII. Like, why not just do Final Fantasy VII? It was good. It was already your most popular
I like it.
fucking game.
Yeah, but
I
I
know
like
you
that.
like it.
though.
You're not everyone. I don't like it, so I'm
Yeah,
okay to
no,
express
I
my
know
opinion
Greg
on it.
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have
Bailey.
to trump my opinion every time I state it, and it's not the same as yours, Johnny.
We're not trying to trump it. We're just saying that 75% of people agree with us and 25% agree with you.
well, he's got Greg Bailey on his side.
I mean, I don't dislike the game. I just don't feel like this is necessary, and I don't feel it. Particularly having played this whole game, I know that in this game it adds nothing of value, other than being like an interesting, what's gonna happen now. We don't know, but other than that, because we've got these whispers fucking with things. But other than that, it doesn't pay off. Sorry,
I
that's
think
kind
it's
of a
that I
spoiler,
don't like
Vanessa.
that I don't like remakes, and I like that it's not a remake. That's all.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I like remakes. I think remakes are fun. Just do it. My big thing is I haven't done it yet. You guys know that and you guys know and listeners know that I do not like gaming on my fucking PC or really my laptop. But boy, I really want to play that System Shock remake. I love those System Shock games.
But these days you can hook up your controller to a PC. Don't you think that will sort of
I don't know.
override
Yeah, I
some
can,
of the
but
issues you've
it
had with
doesn't.
it before?
It's not an issue of what input I'm using. I just don't like playing games on my laptop. I have a big TV for a reason. And
But you
laptop
can plug
gaming
your
doesn't have the appeal of the Switch where I can grab it and just do it in bed or on the toilet.
Right.
Right.
You can play with a laptop in your bed, though.
Not comfortably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
we'll
to like
start
get
a
a
fire.
book to put the mouse on, and
And then it gets
You
hot
get
on
one of
your
those
lap.
lap things. Get one of those
get hot
those
on your lap.
laptop things. Designed to
Like
put
the
your
little
laptop in your
desk
lap.
thing.
Yeah.
But that's not how I
Fortunately
play
for
things in
getting-
bed.
I don't
I don't
care.
want to play in bed with a little desk over my lap. Like I want to hold it in front of me like a Switch, like a handheld.
Well, then don't play on a PC, Matt. I don't know what to tell you,
Well, I
bud.
don't have a choice because fucking System Shock Remake's only on PC, Jim.
Well,
Well, probably
Wow.
will eventually be on consoles.
Yeah,
Both of you.
That's true, and that's kind of what I'm hoping. We'll see. Maybe we'll get. I imagine it depends on whether or not it makes any money on PC, which is tough
All right, we
competition
gotta
because
get
it came
into
out the
this
same
quest
week
log.
as Street
We are
Fighter
only,
6 and right before Diablo
2
4.
minutes into it. Johnny's leaving.
Yeah, Johnny hates us. All right, well, we fight Reno. We escape the church. There's the whispers. We have to run upstairs, and we escape through like a hole in the roof. And then what happens?
yeah,
Jim?
there's a little mini game. I don't know if you call this a mini game, but you have to Cloud has to climb the ceiling lattice
No.
work in order to
Jim, as we have
knock
discussed
down a
many
chandelier.
times on the show, traversal is not a mini game. You sound like a real Johnny right now.
I mean, it's different than the other modes of transportation we've done thus far. Anyways, yeah, you're right. We do
I
escape
hated
through
this,
a hole in the
actually.
roof.
The
It
part
was
where
really
you're like
slow and boring.
grappling
Yeah.
along the roof beams because
Yeah,
the
where you're in
game
the monkey
really does not want to let you do this. Like it is constantly like, oops, you've hit the wrong direction on the pad, and now Cloud's going to turn into a direction he can't go and slowly bounce off of it and then turn himself around. And it does a lot of the game taking control of you and like forcing you to whatever. It's frustrating. Didn't love it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I also
there's-
did not like
yeah.
it.
I feel like any time Cloud's not walking or running from like one place to another, like on the game field, the game gets too handholdy, and like the camera locks up,
Yeah.
or you're walking at the pace of the NPC or the party character that is talking to you.
It's constantly
to like slow the.
It's constantly
dialogue,
wrenching
get the
control away from you and forcing you to like move at the slowest possible pace. Those are what I think of as the worst parts of the game. When the game's like, no, you can't run here. You walk slowly. No, you can't turn the camera here.
You're not on the turbo team.
You're not on the turbo team.
So Aerith is like, hey, will you escort me back to my house? And because you're my bodyguard. And Cloud's like, okay, let's travel by rooftop. And we get just a lot of inconsequential
It's so boring.
dialogue.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's boring, but I'm on the fence on this one because Aerith is cute and fun, and as Vanessa pointed out, she fucks with Cloud a lot, which is pretty entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do get a lot of cute Aerith moments here. Like, there's one part where she has to walk across like this metal beam, and halfway through she pretends like she's gonna fall, and then when you get up to her, she goes, "Got ya."
Yeah.
Like she was faking it the whole time. There's a lot of there's some fun moments like that.
But, the problem with it is that those moments don't make up for the fact that it's super fucking slow and boring as you just walk across these roofs.
It's
Walk across the
tedious.
roofs. Maybe you'll find one treasure chest with a potion in it. Yay!
Yeah, it's boring.
This game doesn't hide enough chests in little nooks and crannies.
It doesn't. You're right. I agree.
I think there's a lot, actually.
Yeah,
There's
I
not
find
enough.
a lot
I
of.
feel like there's more of the boxes you can slap and get a potion than there are like chests.
Well, they have more than potions in them. They have high potions. They have antidotes. They have other like helpful
Moogle medals.
They have other helpful items, and they have Moogle medals. And I like the fact that they also will heal you a little and give you a little of your mana back. I think that's a good.
And it's just fun to break boxes because that's something I do.
Does
anyway.
anybody else always have to walk through the broken boxes and push them around with their body? I always do.
as well.
I have to.
So we get to Sector 5. We have to do some running around. Like we have to go around the long way to open this gate, and then
Well, yeah, we see.
we get to the
Once we're done traveling
to
on the
the
rooftops,
station.
we see Rude
Yeah.
get off a helicopter, and that's when it's like, oh, now you got to go through the back alleys so you don't run into Rude.
yeah.
Also, I fucking love Rude.
Rude is cool.
Reno,
Yeah, so there's more
garbage.
backstreet running.
Rude, yes, gitch.
Oh, they're both good. So eventually, we actually do get to Sector 5 slums. And when we get there, everybody's in, like, the town square watching a Shinra news broadcast featuring hot Shinra officer Scarlet.
Yeah. Wow.
I put this in the group chat, but they buffed Scarlet's boobs. They're massive.
And they definitely gave her like hot anime mommy voice. Like she's like, "Get out of my way, reporters. What do you think's going to happen to
Yeah,
these
she's got a real
criminals?
sultry voice.
Why don't you come up and see me, Avalanche?"
And for some reason, she like pushes down the cameraman who's recording the interview like she's a dominatrix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
she's
really
real Commander
inappropriate.
Shepard,
Yeah.
knocking over journalists.
Yeah, but she's the head of like city security, or no, she's the head of prototype weapons or something. She's the head of weapons
She's the
development.
head of research.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, head of research.
And while I'm
no,
sure
I'm
you're
thinking
right
ahead of
that
science.
they buffed up her bust size, I remember her having
She did have big boobs in the original.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
But
she looked like
unlike
a Popeye
Tifa,
man.
they didn't.
yeah, they look like big triangles poking out of her
Yeah,
chest.
exactly.
Unlike Tifa, they didn't lower her bust size for the remake.
No.
Woke
What a
Roxy, right?
scam.
Tifa has got such. You know what? Never mind.
Right.
The internet is
So-
the
All right,
worst place
so
on earth.
yeah,
Do you
so
have
we're-
to watch that whole news thing? 'Cause
Oh
I
yeah,
did.
this is one
can
of the
hold
parts
down
where the
triangle to
game
skip any
wrestles the
cutscene,
camera
but-
from you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you watch that. You have to make your way to Aerith's mom's house, and on the way you run into a place where all the little garbage orphans live. And the voices that they give these little kids, it's so obvious that they're adults doing kid voices. In the group chat yesterday, Vanessa and I were talking about the chunker, and I was like, these kids sound like when John does Baby Fresh Eyes voice.
What are you talking about?
That's
Hi,
exactly what they sound like.
Aerith. Yay!
Matthew loves that voice too. It's his favorite voice that I do on the show.
He loves
Yeah.
it. He's just sitting. He's not making a noise because I think like he's
Right.
doing that thing where you laugh and squeal so high that like
Yeah,
nothing
he's
comes
like,
out.
"Ee."
Yeah,
But
That's
he's
why he's
clapping his
frequency
like
that
doing his
only
little
dogs
claps.
can hear. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kicking his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's like
everyone
pointing
in the
into his
town-
cheeks and doing like the look at my little dimples motion. That
Yeah. Like, so
Everyone in the
rosy.
town loves Aerith. They're all friends with her and have lots of questions and want to ask her about flowers and doing tasks for her. And
What I
wondering
was
who the
kind of
guy
offended
with-
by was the cafe owner who was like, "Hey, Aerith, are you available to work right now for free?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No."
You didn't say for free.
I
did
thought
say
it was
yes.
implied
Sad that
because
there
she's
wasn't,
like,
a waitress mini game that Cloud could do.
I know that would have been great.
So after that, you finally get to see Michelle Pfeiffer as Aerith's mom.
What? Michelle Pfeiffer?
Wait, you're skipping Leaf House.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much to be
Yeah.
done before you go meet Aerith's mom.
Well, no, you go to Leaf House, then you go to Aerith's mom's, and you get flowers, and then you go back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because Leaf House wants a flower delivery.
Yeah, Leaf House wants some flowers. And you meet a little boy on a roof named Oates.
Oats.
Oates. So we make our way through. This is where we go to Aerith's house for the first time. And wow, what a pretty little area. I think
It's
they did
very
a good
pretty.
job of making, because the original game's version of this area was also really pretty, and I feel like they did a good job of rendering it. It looks really nice.
So yeah, I do find, I don't know, I got real like older Michelle Pfeiffer vibes off of
I see
Aerith's
it.
mom, Elmira.
Mm-hmm.
Her face is
She
a little
really-
bit longer than Michelle Pfeiffer's, I would say.
Okay.
I know that there's treasure chests in Leaf House, but I just could not be bothered to go inside. Hope it wasn't
There's
important.
also that optional cutscene where Elmira sits in a chair across from Coolio, and the camera's just rotating.
What? And they're like, "Vince living both our lives, living in the gangster."
Yeah. There's a DLC where Elmira plays Catwoman, and she uses a whip to knock the heads off mannequins.
There's a part where she just like laps up milk, and it's the fucking grossest thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
There's a part where
Gross.
she sits
Puts a whole
like
bird
a
in her
straddle on a stepladder and talks about how she wants a cool rider, and then that guy on the bike, Roche, comes up and she's like, "Oh my god, who is he?"
There's a part where she
And then
implies
Roche
that
is
she
like,
uses kitty
"I
litter,
hope
which
they-"
is not okay. You're a human. I don't care what kind of costume you wear.
She's like,
Please use a toilet.
Roche is like, I hope she doesn't find out. What if they find out I'm Roche?
What would they say if they knew it was me?
Oh, are we doing a Grease 2 riff right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Grease 2, the greatest movie ever made. I'll be your
Oh,
mom
man.
for all seasons. Your all seasons mom. That's what she sings for Aerith.
So we meet
So in the
right,
next
so-
Flash
Eric's mom.
movie,
Did you intentionally write Marlene's mom? Did we meet Marlene's mom?
Oh no, I probably wrote that on
So
accident.
it's Aerith. Okay. I was like, there's a
Aerith's
part with Marlene's mom?
I'll just
I think she's dead.
I don't know. It would be hilarious if she
Actually,
wasn't
yeah.
and was just living on the
Marlene's
slums
mom
on the other
is
side
dead.
of town and was like, no, I don't want
Yeah.
anything to do with those people.
I know.
Well, there is the woman who runs Leaf House who implies that she knows Bannon, so maybe.
It's weird that everyone
Bannon.
in Sector
Bannon is-
5 is
Bannon.
talking.
Bannon's my brother.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's easy to get them confused. They're very similar.
Yeah,
So,
Bannon does have that gun.
It does seem weird that everyone in Sector 5 knows everyone from Sector 7. Like, isn't this a big city?
They say at one point later on that there are 50,000 people in the Sector 7 slums. So you're right. That does not make a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
I did like that a lot of people knew Aerith, though, because it's like her neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
made sense
yeah,
to me.
for sure.
But
And
Yeah.
there's a really nice environmental design that I hadn't really noticed before. That wherever around where Aerith spends her time, plants grow. So like as you start getting closer to her house, like the Leaf House is covered in plants, and then like as you get closer to her house, it becomes like verdant, like a forest.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's a really good design. And that's actually a new detail that wasn't in the original. There was a garden around her house, but it wasn't like crawling with vines and leaves and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that yellow materia in the church you couldn't get to?
Yes, you can get it later, right?
Yeah, I think you can go back. I'll have to go back and get that because I don't know that I've gotten that.
Yeah.
There's also a materia that you can't get yet here in Aerith's garden. So you go to Aerith's house. She runs upstairs, comes down with some flower baskets and says, "Hey, Leaf House wanted us to get some flowers. Let's get some flowers and take them over to Leaf House."
So it seemed like there's only she asked you to collect some flowers. Cloud's like, I don't do that. And she's like,
Collect
yeah, you do. So
3
go pick
kinds of
these.
flowers, and there are only 3 kinds of flowers to collect.
Yeah, and
No,
there's a whole
like 5. There's like 4 kinds of flowers.
It
4
would
or
not
5.
let me out of this little box it put around me. I couldn't
Yeah, I was
go
like,
anywhere.
there's lots of different colors all around the garden, and it even puts up like a splash screen saying, whatever you
does.
choose will change the wall of Leaf House, so think carefully. There's only 4 choices.
I only found 3.
Yeah.
Come on.
I legitimately
I
only
picked
saw
all 3 of the
choices,
same flower.
And it only
I
gives
picked
you
all 3 of the
There's
same flower.
Foxtails,
the same?
the
What an asshole.
white ones, the yellow ones. Is there another one?
There's red and blue
Vanessa?
ones, but you can't
Yeah, there's
get
the
to
purple
'em.
one. There's purple ones, right?
I only found like 3 that you could pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the foxtails, the white and the yellow, and it made a chocobo.
Yeah,
on the
me too.
wall.
I don't remember what mine is.
I think you could have
I
picked
picked
like
all yellow.
the yellow ones all 3 times, or
That's what I did.
Oh, maybe. Oh, and was it a chocobo?
I don't remember. I'll have to look.
Wow.
I wondered if you picked like all the foxgloves, if it would make a cactar, because they're long and
Ooh.
spiky.
That'd
Green.
be fun.
That would be fun.
All right, so you head back to Leaf House, and then got a lot of jobs to do. It,
Well, they're like,
opens up-
Aerith, will you help us with whatever? And then Aerith disappears for a minute, and you got to go run around. You run around until you find Oates. And Oates,
I found Chumley. I thought that was what you had. to
Chadley?
find, but
Chun-Li.
Chumley.
no, you have to
Chumley.
find Oates. Oates.
Breaking
you're thinking
research news.
Chadley. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Chadley is
googled
there, but
and
right standing.
confirmed.
Oh.
Sorry, Jim. Googled and
Go ahead.
confirmed that if you pick 3 foxtails, it does make a cactar.
Oh, what happens if you pick 3 of the daffodils?
Cactar.
Oh,
Cactar.
I should have gone for the 3 foxtails.
3 yellow flowers makes the chocobo. 3 white flowers makes the moogle. And I guess a mix of
Moogle.
flowers makes the chocobo.
Cool.
It says does not affect story.
What? All right, so yeah, I found Chandler, and I guess you run into Oates again, and he's like,
Oh, you're a friend of Aerith.
Oh no, Oates is like they're kids who are like lost in our little play area, and we need someone to go get them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go back up to Leaf House, and Aerith rejoins your party, and then you got to go to where apparently no adults are allowed.
No adults are
But
allowed.
where
You have to walk
where the
sideways
kids
to get
play
into this
their
alley.
imagination games. Yeah, that's another loading squeeze here.
mm-hmm.
You have to be a
And
skinny
Oates is
anime
like,
adult to get in there.
yeah, and Oates is like, hey, these kids are missing. We think they're like out by the water or whatever. Can you go look for them? We need your help because there's monsters.
Probably if
So you gotta
Barrett
go-
wanted to get through there, he'd really have to oil himself up real good.
Mm-hmm.
real good.
Tifa too, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you head out to this back area to find these missing kids. I'm trying to press forward as quickly as we can because the next chunk is so long. The kids, you see them, they're in a little lake, and they're being what looks like there's that smogger thing on the
Smogger,
beach.
Mm-hmm.
That's keeping them from going back home. So you go there, and those smoggers are annoying because they will silence you. But silence is not a permanent status thing. It's only like a 20-second status thing now.
Yeah, if you use the elemental materia and put thunder on your sword, it's really good for staggering these enemies.
Yeah, that's what I kept on mine, actually, was lightning on my sword, because you're going to find a lot of robots. Like, it's a good guess. You never really know, but it helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Cloud does like a really cool soldier trick and like jumps to the other side and collects them and then jumps back.
Mm-hmm.
I like
kids are
the
like, wow. He was like,
Yeah.
whoosh. Then he was like,
I like that
"Wah."
part when you're like walking back and they're like, my favorite part was when Cloud was like, yeah, and then he's like, no, it was like, yeah.
Mhm.
And they're
That
going
was
back
cute.
and forth.
I really
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then when we get them back, we're about to leave. They mentioned that they thought that the kids were in trouble because some sickly-looking guy dressed in tattered black robes has been sighted around there. And when we go to leave this area, that guy shows up, and you get another little Sephiroth cutscene.
Number 2
Mm-hmm.
I remember these
That
guys from
guy.
the original game.
is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were around.
Yeah, this guy is that guy are sick guy.
Mm-hmm.
From
Oh
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
game.
That guy are sick. I remember that.
And he does touch you Well, he touches Cloud, and then Cloud gets a vision, and Sephiroth's there again. A close-up on Sephiroth's juicy lips.
I
We
feel
also-
like the game is being very sexual about Sephiroth and Cloud's relationship.
He's like, don't fear reunion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, I like the part right after this too, because when Cloud snaps out of it, Aerith is like kind of got her hands on the sides of his face, and she's like, "Hey, Cloud, get it together."
Yeah.
It's kind of I forgot to mention this at the beginning of chapter 8, when you agree to be Aerith's escort back to Sector 5, she says let's mosey. And that's a callback to the original when Cloud is giving a pep talk in the crater in Disc 3. For some reason, it sticks out like a sore thumb. He says, "Time to mosey," which is like so weird. But I like that they called that back.
You also
And the
once you deal with the Sephiroth thing, you get to meet the best merchant in the game.
This
what was his
weird,
name? Moggy the
disturbed
Moogle.
young
Moggy
kid.
the Moogle merchant. It's a little boy
Yeah.
dressed up like a Moogle.
No. No, I don't. I think this is a real Moogle. Jim and I were having this discussion. He kept trying to say that this was like a child Moogle. I think
We
this
have
is an adult Moogle.
We have a Moogle summon.
Well,
There's
yeah.
real Moogles.
Yeah, so this is
Like
a real
this one.
Moogle.
This is
Yeah.
a boy dressed up like a Moogle.
I
This is a
don't know
disturbed
why
young
you
kid.
think that.
Yeah.
Who desperately needs access to mental health resources.
He's a
Yeah.
little tall for a Moogle. He's the second tallest Moogle I've ever seen. The tallest, of course, being in Final Fantasy X-2, where you see a very tall Moogle.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any indication that this isn't a Moogle. It says Capo. It talks about being a
Capo?
Moogle.
It's Kupo.
Yeah, it's like Capo.
Kupo.
I'm a Moogle. I'm surprised that you can see me because only pure-hearted people can see Moogles. Children can be seen by anyone, no matter how pure your heart is. So I think it's a Moogle.
Well, we finally have a use for all these Moogle medals we've been finding. And you can get some really great stuff. There's a weapon for, is it Aerith?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Aerith.
But also those
That,
there's
of course,
the
is
manuscripts,
the first thing I went for.
which give each
Yeah,
character
those are
some
great.
bonus SP, which is, you gotta have that. You're gonna have to get all of those.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did.
I only got a few of them. I only had enough Moogle points.
Yeah,
for one for
I
Aerith and
only
one
got
for-
one of those. I'll go. I know you get to come back and get the rest at some point. I got Aerith's
Yeah.
weapon. I got the music. Oh, the sewer
Graveyard
key. You have to
key.
get the sewer key or the graveyard key.
That's a graveyard key, yeah.
Yeah. So I just got that right away. I was like, I'm sure this is useful, and it turned out to be useful. And then the kid's like, hey, so we like to do tasks around the neighborhood. Do you want to? I'm sure people would need your help. Do you want to help out? And Aerith's like, oh, we got to pad out this game for an hour or two, so sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the
Hell yeah.
exact same thing as the previous chunker where you did a bunch of tasks in Sector 7 slums. They're just like, here, run around and do some side quests. Okay.
Did you master them all, Vanessa?
I love doing tasks. I did them all, of course.
Kill me.
So there's tasks including a gay man who asks for help defeating these weird weapons that were floating around, going like "intruder detected, intruder detected."
Oh, yeah.
This is our
I like those
first
things.
sort of openly gay representation in this game.
Does he actually? Is he openly gay, or did you just think he was gay?
He's not in the closet, Johnny. I mean, he's wearing salmon-colored shorts.
They're only openly gay if they say, I'm gay.
Yeah, it has to be clunky and like overly prescribed. He has to be like, "Oh, my husband in Sector 6, who I have gay sex with."
Johnny, he's wearing a tank top, salmon shorts, and his hair is back-combed.
What are you saying about tank tops?
Nothing. I don't know where I could have gotten that
Okay.
from. And he's obviously
right.
been working on his arms. Whoa. Whoa.
Good show.
Look at that champion squat belt.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, Gay Man needs help with these robots that have fallen down from the exploded Sector 5 reactor. Did we ever get a visual? I guess we never saw Sector 5 reactor exploding, because you just really see Cloud fall.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what knocked you into the thing, right? Was the explosion.
But you don't get like a big wide shot of it going like...
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
That's what it sounds
Well, I
like.
don't know that there's a ton to talk about here. There's the graveyard thing where a man is like, I want to visit my wife's grave, but there's monsters there, so you go and clear out the monsters for him.
Well, there is something
Yeah.
there. The only thing I want to talk about is that at the end, Cloud's like, you return, and the guy's like, yeah, so you did it. That's great. The gay guy again. And then the old man's like, yeah, but I'm too old. I'm not going to go visit my wife. So why don't you give this key back to the kids? Because I'm too old to do it. And then Cloud's like, sure, I'll do it, but it'll cost you 5,000 gil. Why did he do that,
pays
Jim?
off.
What is your... It does?
That pays
Because
off.
Cloud doesn't want him to stop seeing his wife.
Exactly.
Yes, I also had this impression.
How does it pay off?
Well, when you're later on, when it's nighttime and you're leaving, which we'll talk about, so I won't say much yet, but you can walk by this guy and you'll hear him talking about how visiting with the children and talking about the past really re-sparked his, lust for life.
Yeah, at first
That's
it seemed
nice.
like Cloud was being selfish, but it turns out he cared about the old man deep inside.
Because the old man went to the hideout. He got to play with the kids.
There's also
and he got all fired up.
There's also a big, it's not big here, but I think there's a big payoff for it later on when you meet the reporter and you learn about the guardian of the slums. It's kind of like
The
a Robin
Angel of the
Hood.
Slums.
Sorry, Angel of the Slums, kind of like a Robin Hood style thing, and you get tasked with going and finding their hideout. Jim, tell us about that.
Actually, this one, so isn't this one where you have to wander into the community center and talk to some of the old people?
Yeah, the
Is
reporter.
it a community center? I
tasks
thought it
you
was like a
with
restaurant.
No, it's a
Yeah,
community
it's the old.
center.
It's like the old
Is it?
people community center.
That was like a retirement home.
I don't know.
They
Yeah.
call it a community center.
And you run across an old
Yeah.
woman who's willing to tell you all about the Angel of the Slums, and she meets you with the reporter, and she tells the reporter that she knows the location of their hideout, but oh no, there's monsters there. And Cloud, can you please go clear them out? And when you get there, you find her
and
calling
then you
card.
do. Yeah, you find her little calling card, and it's addressed to you, isn't it?
No,
Oh, I thought it was.
no, but I know that comes back
What
around,
else is
so
there?
it's worth bringing up.
There's
Find all the kids.
all the sword kids.
Yep.
Find all the sword kids. Yeah.
I mean, none of
What
these are
else?
that interesting. We should probably just...
No. Yeah, you're right.
You head back, you do
Um,
your tasks, and you head back towards Aerith's mom's house. And who do you meet?
Well, so yeah, when you're running by Leaf House, one of the teachers is like, "Hey, some suit who looked like he worked for Shinra just came by and was walking towards your mom's house." And so you run up there, and who do you run into but Rude?
Rude's awesome.
And you get a really cool fight with him. Root is cool. I really like these anime characters in these games who fight with their fists and are just really cool. He's a cool guy. He wears sunglasses. He's got a cool goatee.
Vanessa's favorite part of the game happened here.
Yes, you get into
Yeah.
this fight with Rude, and he breaks one of the lenses of his sunglasses. He takes it off, and then he pulls out a new pair of sunglasses from his suit and puts them on. It's so good.
After you beat him, he wants to keep fighting, but then he gets a phone call. His ringtone is the victory theme.
Fanfare.
Fanfare, victory
Yeah.
fanfare. And you hear them talking about something about how he needs to be at Sector 7. And a helicopter swings in and picks him up.
Yeah, I do have a question about this character. Do you think that Rude is his given name, or is it a nickname, or did he choose it for himself?
It's a good question.
Is it short for Rudolph?
Ooh.
Oh, maybe.
That would be a great name.
Rudolph and Renoa.
Renomulus.
Ronaldo?
Renomulus.
Renomulus. More like your momulus.
Wow.
It was a great joke. One of my best, probably.
It was really good. So we go back to Aerith's mom's house after Rude leaves, and it's interesting because when you're about to fight Rude, Aerith runs up and she's like, "No, don't hurt Rude. He's actually a pretty cool guy." And it's like, "Excuse me, this man is trying to kidnap you." But Aerith
he's
does
not a
help you
bad
in this
guy.
fight. Yeah, he's not a bad guy. Aerith does help you in the fight, which is fun. But then when you beat him, you go back to Aerith's mom's house, and Cloud decides he's gonna do a sneaky sneak. Did you guys
Well,
get frustrated?
Cloud doesn't
at this-
decide
at the
he's going to do a sneaky sneak. Aerith's mom tasks.
Oh yeah, she's like, "Please
Aerith with
never
going
talk
upstairs
to Aerith
and
again."
cleaning up the guest room, and while she's upstairs, she's like, "You need to leave in the middle of the night and don't ever talk to Aerith again." And she makes Cloud promise, which is a promise he immediately breaks. Also, worst goddamn part of the game here, when you're trying to sneak out of the house at night, and it's like, "Don't bump things." Like, I got news for you, game. Have good controls if you want me to not bump into shit. It's like fucking
I feel like it's
driving a tank
impossible to
around.
not bump. They put a bucket right in front of the door. Every time you hit that bucket, it starts over.
After 3
So
tries
irritating.
for me, it was like, yeah, fine.
It clears out most everything, yeah. One of the things I liked that I thought was interesting writing was when Cloud is leaving, Aerith's mom is still downstairs, and she's like, "Don't ever come back," and Cloud just goes, "Done."
Yeah.
And walks
She says,
away.
"Don't ever." She
says,
makes him
"Never talk
promise
to my daughter again."
Yeah, she says she makes him promise to never talk to her daughter again. Cool.
Yeah, and he's
I
like,
do
"Done."
have questions about the junk in the hall. Did Aerith put that there? Like when Cloud went to bed? Because it wasn't
don't
there
know.
when you go to bed. There's also a pile of chairs blocking off the roof balcony access. It's a weird thing to do if you have a house guest.
Imagine
What is that,
just
Jen,
trying to go to
number
the
4,
bathroom.
number 5 of the evening.
That's number 2.
Imagine just trying to go to the bathroom, like in the middle of the night.
Oh,
in
yeah.
your house.
And then she pops out and she's like, "Where are you going?" I went everywhere in that house. There wasn't a bathroom.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe
good
the
point.
buckets to pee in.
That's true. That's the potty bucket.
Maybe
But
if
we
you
go-
walk out and
we-
pee in
we
the
go
bucket, she
to-
won't disturb you. You know, maybe that's the
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah. So we go to leave, and who do we find waiting for us outside the Sector 5 slums? It's Aerith again.
She's just like, "I was waiting." So I guess she knows her mom well enough to know that she was going to send him away, maybe.
Well, when you have that first conversation with when you have that first conversation with her, Aerith comes back downstairs and Cloud is kind of stunned by the request, and Aerith looks at him and clearly suspects that something has happened here.
Yeah.
And then I guess she busts you trying to leave twice, so of course she knows what you're doing.
Yeah. John, I'm thinking about your comment earlier where, maybe Reno is like a shorter-haired Axel.
Yeah.
Maybe that makes sense considering Final Fantasy VII is a Kingdom Hearts spinoff, isn't it? It's got all the same characters.
Well, yeah.
I finally did
it.
it.
Kind of rips off the Kingdom Hearts combat.
It does. Actually, you know what? I just beat Crisis Core the other day, and Crisis Core combat rules. It's way better than even
Don't
Final
people
Fantasy VII Remake combat.
Don't
People
people
hate the
that
combat? I
combat
think they
with
like
the
it.
dice rolling and
It's not a
I haven't
dice
played it.
roll. It's like there's like
Oh,
it's
it's
almost
a
like a
slot
slot
machine.
machine that is continuously going, but that's how you get your limit breaks.
I hate
It's fun.
the slot machine limit breaks in Final Fantasy games.
Oh.
Yeah, but this one's not really a game you play. It's just stuff that randomly happens while you're fighting. And what happens in the plot affects the likelihood that it's going to come up with different characters' faces on it. Anyway, where were we? We're sneaking through Sector 6? right?
Yeah, I guess. It's just a tunnel.
Yeah, and Aerith says she doesn't like this part of Midgar because back when people were first settling in the underside, the upper plate fell down and killed a bunch of people in Sector 5, which is why it's all junky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's got bad vibes.
I mean, it's not just Sector 6. Sector 5 is like this. Like, it's just all trash everywhere.
Yeah, these people live in garbage.
I mean, honestly, like it's detailed, like it looks good, but also like as level design, it's so fucking boring. Like it's just a bunch of
very
hallways
brown.
full of garbage. And a bunch of stuff that I found very odd in this setting. Like, I get that, like, you know, even in like a fantasy or a fantasy sci-fi world like this, like, you know, people are going to invent hammers and swords. That makes sense. But like, orange cones? Is that a thing that's just universal? Like the orange cones?
Uh-huh.
That doesn't work for me. I see those things and I'm like, okay. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 15 when you're just driving a fucking car around and it's like, yeah, that's like a Buick or whatever. Like, give me a fucking break.
It's an Audi.
Way to break the fucking immersion.
I like that they went to the trouble of, like, in the original, in those pre-rendered backgrounds, there were like these weird focal points, like the big robots or the bulldozers that were on the sides of walking paths. I like that they put those back. Like, there are just random bulldozers on the sides of paths, and at one point when you're walking to the Sector 5 slums, you can walk up this little ramp, and there are these big, empty, like, robot mechs.
It's weird.
It's neato.
Yeah, I saw
we
the
get to
mechs,
walk
and I was wondering if it was going to come back later that we'd ride them around, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe it was just a FF6 nod.
Yeah. So we're walking through Sector 6, and this is where we gotta make use of the sweet robot hands. It's pretty cool robot hand
these were
traversal
terrible.
puzzles here.
Classic
It was
robot
terrible and
hand
awful, and
puzzle.
nobody liked it.
Gotta get that robot hand in there.
No, it was so dumb.
But in this area, you get what I think is the most useful materia in the game, which is Magnify.
Yes,
Magnify
Magnify's
is
amazing.
The best materia.
I stuck that on Cloud with fire immediately so that I could, because fire seems to be the most useful element. Fire and lightning.
Yeah, it's way great. Like, use it with your upper level spells too. Just cast fire and Firaga on everybody. It's great.
Yeah, this is about the point in the game where this is
got
about
that.
the point that I hit in the game where I could just one shot a field by like, because you
Yeah,
also get
using
the
Magnify.
from Chadley, you can get the first strike materia, and you can get the
yeah.
whisper something scarf, which give you an ATB gauge as you start a battle.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just, it's so fucking handy. Like the minute the fight starts, you can immediately, cast Fira or Faraga or one of your big abilities. It's fucking great. Triple slash to start the whole thing off.
Vanessa, Magnify is in this game what the all materia was in the original.
Oh.
So if you link it to a magic spell, then it casts it and it hits more than one target.
It's
I don't
fantastic.
think I got that last time.
No,
Yeah,
so
I'm
this
not
one,
sure if I got
it's
it or
right
not.
on the path. It's that blue materia that's on, I think, the second robot arm puzzle. There's like a blue materia in front of like a tunnel.
I mean, the
you have to
game literally
move
will
Aerith
stop
over
you
to.
if you try to move on without it and be like, are you sure?
Yeah, you
I
want
must
that
have got it
materia.
then.
Yeah,
Get it.
yeah, equip it because it's super useful. And there's some good character moments here between Aerith and Cloud. Some awkward high five attempts. Yeah, that's pretty good.
The most awkward high five at the end of this.
I mean, it's kind of cute as
Mm-hmm.
Aerith keeps trying to like get him to get into this high five, and he won't do it. And then he has a
Mm-hmm.
moment where he kind of goes for one, but she doesn't put her hand up, and he's all embarrassed. Mm-hmm. Is Aerith flirting with Cloud?
Yeah, kind
Yes.
of, I think. I think she likes him.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
she's
I think so.
negging him the whole time, which is my type. I like someone who's kind of a jerk and insults me, and I can insult him back, and we have fun, like,
You
bantering.
always call me out for liking that type when I'm like, Handsome Jack is so great. He keeps
Well,
saying he's going to
but you
kill
like
me.
the genocidal ones. I like playful banter.
It's playful.
I don't think it is.
So we have to do these robot arms, and they're terrible.
Yeah, it's just a
Yes.
matter of moving Aerith from one side to the other with the robot arms. The
And-
last one took me a minute when I originally did it, and then the game eventually is just like, stack the boxes.
Yeah, it did that to me too, and I admit that I probably wouldn't have realized that because I kept trying to put down the first box or like the second box back in this space, and you have to stack the boxes
too.
in the correct order, even though
They're
they're
doing
exactly the
the-
same, which makes no sense.
The Star Wars thing of, Obi-Wan Kenobi improvised this little training droid as like a thing to train Luke Skywalker with, while wearing a helmet, to give him some practice
When
with
it's on
the Force.
Dagobah?
No, that would be on the Millennium Falcon in the first.
Oh,
movie.
that's right. That's
And-
right. Yeah.
Correct.
And then it turns out in the prequels that's an established training thing. All the kids have helmets on. They all have little training droids because there's one stupid robot arm in Final Fantasy VII Original. So now they're like, oh yeah, now
Yeah.
there's
You
8
guys
different
love
robot
robot
arm
arms.
puzzles.
You must want 6 of
Yeah.
these. Hard to control.
I hated that.
It's garbage.
Listeners, unfortunately, I did not have time to finish this chunker. So I have played it before, but I did not play past. We're already well past where I played. I'm sorry. I've betrayed you all.
Yeah, you have. You let us down, and we, I don't
I'll
know.
catch
We
up.
might
I'll
have to
catch up
evict you
next
from the
week.
Square Roots house if you don't catch up.
No,
I can't even be
I'll
mad
do
because
it.
you were playing Fallout 76 with me in time you could have been playing this game.
You also played
But
a lot of
I
Breath
want
of the
you to play
Wild.
Fallout 76 with me.
Yeah. I played Fallout 76. I played Zelda. I've just had a bad week. It's been a bad week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will say that. So,
So I guess-
but I will
Sometimes you
catch
have
up
to
next week.
game for your own mental health.
The question that we didn't ask, but we need to ask is, are these Robo Hands Vanessa boyfriends?
What?
Yeah, absolutely. I want nothing more than to get finger blasted by something that is larger than I
Jesus.
am.
Oh my god! I mean, aren't most?
Well, what
men
else am I gonna
larger
do
than
with a
you?
Robo
Wouldn't
hand?
That... Never mind.
You could scratch her back.
I guess it could sort of
Good.
like rub my whole body up and down.
Yeah, it could
Like it was-
just, like jerk your body off, basically.
It could jerk my body off like I was a giant penis.
All right, Jim. What happens next? Put your fucking phone down. Put it down.
All right, what happens next? We get through Sector 6. We get to the gates of Sector 7. We get a little cutscene here between Cloud and Aerith. They're sitting on top of the little cat slide thing.
Oh, yeah. That was
And
fun. Seeing the
Aerith
cat slide
asks
again.
Cloud, she's like, hey, what rank were you? And he was like, first class. And she's like, oh, I knew someone. And she's like, he was the first guy I ever loved. And he goes, what's his name? Maybe I knew him. And then it does a close-up on Aerith's mouth, and you can tell she says Zach. And the sound of Zach's name freaks out Cloud, and he has another little vision.
Is it that it freaks
I don't
him
remember.
out, or is it that like anytime something tries to like tell him something, he has an attack? Like anytime he's gonna learn anything, he has one of these attacks.
Yeah.
Well, right
it's
now
like
his whole like persona is based on Zach. Like even down to the clothes he's wearing.
he can't accept that Zach exists.
Right. Because that would call into question his own sense of identity.
I just felt like none of
Yeah.
this shit ever made sense, you know?
Well, I can explain it
It
if you
doesn't
want.
make a lot of sense.
Why does he think he's Zach?
No. Because Zach rescued him from the Shinra experiments, and then when they were walking to Midgard, they were attacked by Shinra, and Zack hid Cloud while he tried to fight Shinra off, but he ended up getting killed. And then when Shinra left, Cloud was waking up from his Mako poisoning, and he crawled to Zack, and Zack said, "Here, take my sword. You're now my living legacy." And they had been captured and held together by Shinra for 4 years prior to escaping. So they were together for a long time. Cloud was all fucked up on Mako poisoning and having Genova cells put in his body, and in his stupor. And based on what Zack said to him, like he gave him his sword. He said, you're in charge of basically like my honor, and you're my living legacy, and your job is to live. And then Cloud wanders away with the sword. And he's wearing a soldier uniform because that's what Zack found for him to wear when they were escaping from the Shinra facility.
Mm-hmm. But we know none of that in this game.
Right, yeah.
I did think it was interesting when Cloud was fighting Reno. Reno says, "Oh, you were a soldier, what class?" And Cloud says he was first, and Reno laughs and is like, at least make up a believable story.
Yeah, but then he beats the shit out of Reno.
Yeah, but I assume that would be because soldier first classes are rare, and Reno probably knows all of them.
Yeah, that's true, because they say that that's one of the Turks' duties is to scout for soldier candidates, so they probably know all of the folks in soldier pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you spend quite a bit of time with the Turks as a member of soldier in Crisis Core.
So we're leaving.
So so Cloud's like, "All right, see ya." And then right when you're about to go, the gate opens and a little chocobo wagon comes out, and Tifa's in the back of it. And Cloud's
Yay!
like, "What?" And he runs up to
What's
Tifa.
she wearing? What's she wearing? What's
Something
she wearing
exotic.
for everyone?
She's wearing a kimono in mine.
Ooh.
Is it different
In mine,
depending on
she's
what you
wearing like
chose? I've been wondering about this,
It is.
to be honest with
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Like, I
There
kinda
are
wondered, did I
three
miss a
Tifa-
date?
There are 3 Tifa dresses, 3 Aerith dresses, and 3 Cloud dresses.
Mm-hmm. For me, Tifa's dressed sort of like Chun-Li.
Yeah.
She has a mandarin color dress and a peekaboo window for her boobs and little buns in her hair.
Peekaboo windows creep me out.
They're not very practical, and if you're eating, something could fall down there and get stuck. What was she wearing? Oh, Johnny hasn't made it to this point. We don't know what she's wearing for Johnny.
For me, she was wearing the same thing she was in my last playthrough, which was the kimono thingy. Super short kimono. Aerith wore the same thing, and Cloud wore the same thing. I guess I made the same choices. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. So Tifa's like, "Hey, I'm okay." She's like, she's kind of implied that she's doing like some undercover work. She's trying to find out some information about Shinra. So she's like, "Cloud, just trust me." But Aerith is like, and Cloud is going to. He's going to just kind of let her be.
Yeah.
And Aerith is like, "No, we're going after her, right?" And like, she's obviously being trafficked.
Yep. And Cloud's like, I guess.
Yeah. And now we get to one of the coolest parts of the game, Wall Market.
Yeah, I agree. It is cool. Wall Market's like a little Las Vegas, I guess.
Yeah, it's more like a little Atlantic City. If the Gold Saucer is Las Vegas, then I think that Wall
you're
Market
right.
is Atlantic City.
Complete
But
with
yeah,
its
there's
own Trump.
yeah, right. There's a lot of vendors. When we first get there, we go to talk to the Chocobo people, and we meet Chocobo Sam, who is an obvious Sam Elliott ripoff. They even have the same first name.
Yeah, it is
And-
so clear. I mean, he talks. I don't know who the voice actor is,
Exactly.
but boy, he sounds like Sam Elliott.
It sounds just like Sam Elliott, yeah. And you're like, "Hey, where's that girl?" And he's like, "What girl?" And you get a little chance to describe Tifa. You can say she's in great shape. She's great at keeping the books. And then I don't remember what the other one was. She's young, maybe? I don't remember. I put she's in great shape, and Aerith is like, is that really relevant right now, Cloud? But he immediately...
I assume that detracts points from your relationship with Aerith.
I don't think it does. And then but it really doesn't make a difference because Chocobo Sam knows who you're talking about immediately, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's a candidate for being one of the Don's new wives." Apparently, Don Corneo holds tryouts for his wives, and Tifa has made the cut, so she's in Don Corneo's manor, awaiting, I guess, inspection.
Yeah, I wondered a little bit about the choice of the word wife in this, if they were, trying to make it a little bit more palatable as to what's actually going on. I don't believe there's going to be any official marriage ceremonies.
No, it's pretty clear that's not going to be the case.
Especially considering the cutscene you get with the Dawn.
Yeah.
God, the Dawn is not fun.
They gave all the jiggle physics. They took all the jiggle physics from Tifa's boobs and put them in Don Corneo's tummy tum.
Yeah, and his hair. Mm-hmm. His hair also has jiggle.
And
physics.
His hair, yeah, his hair is swooping all over. Yeah, so you go to run up to Don Corneo's house, and on the way you run into.
I would say it jiggles.
Yeah, on the way to Don Corneo's, you run into Johnny, who's running in the opposite direction. If you follow him, he runs all the way to the Honeybee Inn.
This annoyed me. Didn't I tell this fucking dude to get out of town? Like, I
like that he doesn't know. I like that he doesn't know who you are because he was wearing that mask over his head at the time that he never took off. So when you go, you mention Tifa, and he's like, "Huh? Who are you? How do you know Tifa?" And he's like, "Oh no, is Tifa trapped in Don Corneo's manor?" And then he runs all the way back to Don Corneo's.
Yeah.
That's good. So, and then you get to Don Corneo. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He kind of reminds me of Gary Oldman in Fifth Element for some reason.
I could see that, yeah. What's his name?
Except
Zorg?
Fat. I don't know. I haven't seen Fifth Element in 20-something years.
Oh, you should rewatch it. It's good.
Yeah, same. I think I only saw it once when it came out. I never quite
I've seen it
the
3 times, I think. 3 or 4 times.
I've seen it a bunch of times. I love that movie. So Johnny runs all the way back to Corneo's. You run there as well. This is where the game introduces another new to remake character, Leslie, the Don Corneo bodyguard guy. And he tells you not just anybody goes into Don Corneo's manor. You got to be a hot, hot lady.
Mm-hmm. And you have to have a letter of introduction.
Oh, from one of the trio.
Boy, this Leslie character feels real tacked on. Like, he's got really fancy hair under his Cuban dictator fucking hat. What is this? It's so fucking weird.
The game needed another, I guess, Vanessa boyfriend kind of character, like someone for the ladies. Like,
not enough.
Vanessa,
for the ladies.
Do men that traffic women qualify as Vanessa boyfriends?
Well, he does, but he kind of feels bad about it.
You get a whole backstory for Leslie later in the game. So I hope you're ready for more Leslie content.
We're all ready for more Leslie content, and I hope he takes his hat off.
Yeah. And so he tells us that the trio are as follows, not in order of importance, but Chocobo Sam, the Chocobo guy, Madam M, who runs the massage parlor, and Andrea Rodea, the manager of the Honeybee Inn. And if we can get a letter of recommendation from one of them, then we will be able to check on Tifa. So the first place, I don't know about you guys, first place I went to, I think the first place that you can go to
You
is
can
Chocobo
only
Sam.
go, the Madam M's house is closed. You're not allowed. I
Oh,
went to
that's
the
right,
Honeybee
she's
Inn,
not
but
there,
you
yeah.
can't get in. You can only go to Sam Elliott.
Yeah. So you go and he's like, well, no, but also I'm going to flip a coin about it because he's like Two-Face. And no matter what you pick, you're wrong. Doesn't matter. What else does he say here?
What did you pick? I wouldn't let Cloud call it because, first of all, he asked Aerith to. It would have been super rude for Cloud to call it. And secondly, I didn't want to play his sick little games.
So what happened then? Did Aerith call it?
Yeah, she did. Cloud was like, "I'm."
She get it right?
No, thank you.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't want to gamble.
I
And then
chose
Aerith
heads
was
and
like,
lost.
I do.
Yeah, I've chosen heads and tails here and lost both times.
If you choose tails,
was
does it
weird
give
for
you a
me-
heads coin?
Yeah,
Is it always a chocobo on the coin?
I think so, yeah.
I swear that Aerith
So what's
chose
heads?
heads, and then he showed a heads
I don't
coin.
know. I don't know. I just know I'm always wrong, and it never looks like the coin changes.
Mm.
Oh, well. So after this, we go to Madame M's. Madame M is there. She's chasing
Madame
a
M-
bruised and beaten Johnny out.
Yeah.
Aww.
She
Poor
is
Johnny.
the best character in the game. We were talking earlier about our admiration for small business owners. She has a great massage parlor that she is doing very well running. She is
Hand massages.
independent. She gives only hand massages, which is great for those of us who, are at a keyboard all day or maybe work with our hands
Swing
or
a
just play a
sword.
lot of games.
I would love a hand massage.
Me too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Especially considering that it does lead to orgasms. No, I don't.
I,
I don't
was,
know
Apparently.
I
orgasm.
wondered if I could pay extra to have her massage me with her top off, but it didn't give me that option. What? She's fucking hot.
Well, yes, but I don't think that she made Cloud orgasm. I think that Cloud made
Her
Cloud
orgasm.
Did you
When
talk to
she
Cloud
shoved
after?
her hand into
Definitely.
her vagina.
If you talk to
Wow.
Cloud after, it's pretty obvious he had cake batter
That's
in his
ridiculous.
pants.
Yeah, you've had a massage. I've had a massage. You're always you're fucking out of your mind after a good massage.
But he's like looking away in shame. He can't look at Aerith
Oh, I
after,
didn't get that.
and he's just like
fucking-
look.
I did
he's
not
just
get that at all. I just thought that he was buzzed, basically. Like he was so in
Did you get the-
euphoria that he was buzzed.
I thought
paid for-
no.
I paid
The
for
way
the
I read
highest
it,
tier.
yeah.
hand
So if you
massage.
pay for the highest tier, you get this cutscene with Madame M where she's massaging Cloud's palm, and she's like, "I'm gonna start with your fingertips, and then I'm gonna work my way to your palm." And she's like in this pressure point here, and she starts to touch it, and Cloud starts to moan, seemingly seemingly against his will. And she's like, "Oh, you like that, don't you?" And she's like, "What if I just focus on that?" And Cloud starts to moan louder and louder, and then the camera pulls out from the other, so you're on the other side of the curtain now, and you can hear Cloud go, "Oh," and then it cuts.
Yeah.
And then
this.
and then right
this
after,
should have
hold
had
on,
a
right
mis-
after you get control of Aerith in the massage parlor, and if you go walk up to Cloud, Cloud will not look at you, and she'll go, "You're acting weird." he definitely came in his pants.
But sadly, you do not get a massage mini game like in Final Fantasy
No.
X 2, and I think that's the patriarchy for you.
Yeah.
It is. All right, guys, I have to run.
What?
I have to go.
Bye, Jim.
You're dipping
Bye.
out?
Yeah.
But we will finish chapter 9 next time. As well as... Sorry, let me open up these notes. The end of chapter 12? That seems like a lot.
let's say 11.
I did 10 and 11 today, and they're short. That's
Okay.
it's the sewers and
yeah.
the train. The sewers are an hour, and the train is pretty quick as well. So I think end of chapter 12.
And I
is
will
fine.
be a full-time podcaster, so
Yeah.
I can spend all that time finishing this chunk.
Well, let's talk about what
You
we're
know, I
squarely
was-
against, John.
I was furloughed last time we played this game. This game's bad luck for me.
Yeah, that's true. You should
Yeah.
stop playing this game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But then
All right, you were saying?
if you stop now, you'll just be stuck here forever. You have to get through it.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
I was saying we have a Patreon. Did you guys know about that?
That's not where we're
I
at.
did.
We're talking about the squarely against, what we're squarely against.
Oh, I forgot.
And then we have to
I
do
can't host.
emails,
It's
and then we
Jim's
do the
job.
Patreon.
Well, you can do it. You can do it, Vanessa. I have faith in you.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Matt, what are you roundly
just
for or
asked
squarely
John what he was
against?
squarely against.
Oh,
This
sorry.
chunker. Johnny said he
Sorry.
believed in me.
He was wrong.
I do. Oh.
Oh.
Well. All right. So what am I squarely against in this chapter?
Yeah, it's tough because you didn't play the game.
The part I did play.
You're squarely
I'm
against
squarely
getting furloughed
against-
the second time you played this game.
Yeah, this game and my job do not get along. So I'm squarely against getting furloughed. I'm also squarely against the elongated boringness of chapter 8.
Yeah, it sucks.
That one's a rough one. This game needs to pick up the pace. I just feel like the stuff that it padded with, like I do like the extended conversations. I like fleshing out Cloud and Aerith's relationship, and I liked fleshing out the neighborhood around where Aerith lives. I just feel like the stuff they've included isn't that interesting, although I do really like the combat. So anytime that there's more combat, I'm like, oh, okay, this is fine. I like doing these fights. But you know what? I'm squarely against that awful tunnel section with the robot arms. Even if I didn't play that this chunker, I'm going to be very surprised if I enjoy it again, because I hated
This
that
was
last
the part
time.
of the game where I started skipping the cutscenes. Like, just fuck off. I don't care. Between the robot arm cutscenes and the random dudes that you have to fight here cutscenes, I had no patience for any of this shit. I'm like, this is not plot critical. It's garbage.
So Matthew, what are you squarely against?
I'm squarely against. I feel like it wasn't so much of this in the original, so this is what I'm squarely against. I'm squarely against the manic pixie dream girlification of Aerith. Like, I found
that's
this
fair. I do see that.
annoying. And the opening parts of the game really like sold me on like Cloud and Tifa. Cloud, not good with women, doesn't know how to flirt seemingly. Tifa desperately trying to like get him to show some fucking emotion and some humanity and to show some interest.
that is exactly what I think Tifa is doing in that last chunk.
And to show some interest.
And
Aerith is great, and I like her. I think Aerith is cute, and I don't mean that like a physically attractive way. I mean that in like a fun personality
I really like
way.
how she's written. I think she's very well acted. I think she's the best part of this chunker. She's very delightful, and I think that she's really carried along with a really gorgeous the music for this section.
So do you want this to be
really
your
awesome.
squarely against then, or do I get to
No.
talk about what I was talking about?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a big old ball of sass. Sassman.
Boy, we really fucked up though. We didn't really follow through on our big first week of Pride episode.
Aw. It's okay.
Yeah, well,
You know what?
talked
Listeners
about,
know this has been a
Scared
really
Man.
bad week for me.
yes.
This has been a bad past 2 hours for me. So
I
let's.
feel like this was Jim's
listeners will give me a
This was
break.
Jim's choice for the Patreon, and he should be here for this. So if he's gonna leave, we shouldn't talk about it. We should just not do it. Anyway, I am squarely against the manic pixie dream girlification of Aerith. I found her charming, but the situation annoying. And again, I think the game kind of fucked up because the writing kind of fucked up because I really think that it's funny because in my playthroughs of Final Fantasy VII Original, I always was shipping Cloud and Aerith. But in this game, I'm shipping Cloud and Tifa 100%. And this does not do anything to change that for me. So, anyway, Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
I am roundly for the Moogle merchant. I love when there are Moogles in these games. I think it's just fun to see them. I like it as part of the Final Fantasy world. And I was worried that we would only see the Moogle in the summon and not have any interactions with other Moogles. So I was really happy to meet this Moogle. One of the rare Moogles who can speak English. It's great. Or common, or whatever they're speaking. I suppose you can't really call it English.
Midgarian.
Yeah, and I also did like the representation we got from Scared Man, the first openly gay Final Fantasy VII character.
I mean, salmon shorts, and they were shorts.
They were short.
Obviously. Yeah.
And look, straight men don't walk around with arms like that hanging out. I've looked.
I mean, straight
They're not
men
there.
certainly walk around in salmon shorts. Just coming from someone who lives in Florida, that's not abnormal.
They're usually over 70.
No.
No?
Fucking
Okay.
flamboyant
It's sort of an
shorts have
aesthetic
become
of,
a
like-
big thing here, like on the coast, you know?
Oh.
I see it all the time. Bright pink,
In a lot of,
salmon,
like,
don't really
all sorts
have-
of shit.
Preppy American South, they wear that a lot.
Yeah. It's a preppy thing.
Okay. Well,
Those shirts with
so
the
we also have
little
a
whale on it.
Oh my
Patreon.
god, the Vineyard Vines whale. Ugh.
Yes.
I paid too much money for this shirt, is what that shirt says to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I know that
that's
some
all
people
about.
see shirts like that and think like, ooh, like classy. But I see shirts like that and I think, ooh, stupid.
Yeah, they don't look cute.
My brother wears a lot of Vineyard Vines. Anyway,
All right, friends. So we'd like to thank our Patreon.
We're not gonna do any emails?
Us.
There are
Oh,
no
are there
emails.
any
yeah, we did. We got one about
Oh.
Final Fantasy VII mods.
Is it true?
Yep, Vanessa has to read it. Look it up.
Let's
Okay.
have a look.
And we didn't even get to the part where we talk about our favorite lines in the series, and I was in the game, and I was really excited to talk about my favorite line in the game, which is "Beat it, banana
Yes,
breath."
we'll talk about it next time.
Would you just eat a banana?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was holding on to that for the end of the episode, but then we quit early because Jim left us because he hates us.
He doesn't hate us. He just loves his new family.
Yuck.
And we're left behind.
It sucks he's moving out of the Square Roots house soon, huh? It's a real bummer.
Yeah. Here's an email from Philip. Hi. You don't need to read this on the podcast. Okay.
Do it anyways.
Oh, wait. But if you want to, that's okay. Oh, all right. I just want to reach out to Johnny, since I'm not big into social media. I heard Johnny
Oh.
mention in this week's episode that he wished the original Final Fantasy VII got a proper translation. Well, thanks to the modding community, it has. If you have Final Fantasy VII on Steam, you can get mods to enhance the game. There is better translation, HD update, complete overhauls to the materials, equipment, and battle systems, and modifiers and limitations you can add to the game to make it harder for those who have played through so many times. For example, you can give enemies more abilities, put on no item mode, no materia mode, no limit mode, etc. Or you can give everyone 99,999 health to start, but then you can never heal. So you play through the game with a limited health pool.
That's
It's
very
a great
interesting.
podcast that gets me through all my dog walks, yard work, and house repairs.
That see, the only thing with some of those better translation mods is some of them are actually really good, and some of them are like, now we've added swears to every
Yeah.
line.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, Aerith, you bitch, what are you doing, stupid? Fuck you. Like, some of them are translated by the worst.
Some of them
people in
turn
the
them into South
world.
Park episodes, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But I will look and see if there's a nicely reviewed one. Because, yeah, I'd love to see this with a translation that respects the player. And, does... I obviously, I know about the time constraints and all that, but they've made gajillions of dollars off this game. They could have redone this script so many times.
Yeah, that's a good
What
point.
is wrong with them?
All right. Well, thank you for the email.
All right.
We do have a Patreon.
Yep.
If you
And we like.
go ahead, please.
Oh, yeah. For the Patreon, we have 2 tiers. We have the $3 a month, where you get access to every single bonus episode we've ever done, including D&D Hat, a review, which is starts off non-spoilery, and then we give you a warning before we head into spoiler town. So if you want to know whether or not we like the movie, check that one out. Vanessa will never tell you unless you
I'll
pay
never
her.
tell.
And for $5 a month, you get to vote on upcoming games. Oh, I guess I gotta get my list together.
Yeah, I mean, I think we still have some
I
time,
feel like-
but we want to give a month of votes at least, right? A month for voting.
Should I? Yeah, for my vote. Well, I like 2 weeks. I feel like you don't want to stretch it on too long.
Yeah, when we
week or
stretch
2.
it out, that's when, underhanded campaigning and
Yeah.
dark money enters the
That's when
race.
Jim starts fucking underhanding things. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I recommend. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, Matthew. Do you think next one should it be Final Fantasy games, or since we've done a Final Fantasy, should we maybe hold off till later?
I mean, if you don't, I will. So it's your choice. But
Okay.
So if you want to,
Yeah,
try
maybe I'll
different things
I'll
out,
do a list of. Yeah.
Just
maybe I'll do a
don't make
list of
them all
Johnny's
terrible
dream
like
games.
Jim did, please, because Jim's list was garbage.
Well,
Wow.
you might think my list is garbage.
Okay.
I'm
It might
enjoying
be-
this game.
I'll think about it. Anyway, so yeah, for $5 a month you vote. There will be a vote coming up soon for the next game. It'll be my choice. I think I might choose a list of like dream games I've wanted to play for a long time.
yeah, do it.
So
And if you throw a Final Fantasy in there, it will skew the vote. Final Fantasy will win.
yeah, it's not. It won't be that would be a non-Final Fantasy. That'd be like the one with the guns. What's that
My
one
only
called?
concern
Wild
is that I
Arms.
really wanted to do
Nope.
4 and 5 this year. And
Yeah,
if
that's
we
fine.
wait until it's my turn, then I'll have
I think
to put them
I think it's
both
gonna
on
be
there.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think listeners would be mad if we do a vote and then do the other. I think listeners would really hate that.
Yes. I mean, I think listeners also
They've complained
want us
about
to
it several
do
times.
these fucking Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, but 2 in a row would be a lot.
Yeah, I
4
guess.
and 5?
Yeah. Anyway, so we also have a little thank you to our patrons. We thank every patron. It takes a few episodes to do it, but here's a few patrons we want to thank today.
I would like to
I'll
thank
start with
Citrus
Citrus.
C, Sean Gonzalez, Tracy, Nick Moriarty, Chad Wilson, Shin Megami Tensei 3 in 2023. I agree with that. Joshua W. Broxson, Ross Hartley, Elves level slower due to racism. Welcome to Cute Boy Jail Honk Honk, Alex Jokic, Oh No, and RP Siege. I've always wanted to jump in and do it first.
Okay.
And I would like to thank Kristen Ingram. Hey, Kristen, what's up? Joseph, Ari Kopavara, Sean Walsh, Sergeant Spaghetti, Ron, Justin Ham. For Square Roots Podcast, I'm Stim Shanks. I'm
Stanks.
Matt Jorgensen.
That says
Adam
stinks.
H. Hey, it's me, Emmoin, Bree Girth, Megan Sullivan, Cameron Shoei, Trey, Eric Garby, Arthur A., Dr. Fine, Say Everyone's Name, Jethro, Julie, Kodap Games, John Scala, Ward Childress, Florian Jonas Kramer, CharityWater.org, and Loafing Around.
Wow, I didn't even get to say
Yeah.
any names at
John
all.
got pushed
Wow.
out there.
I was going to let John say the 4th section, but someone deleted it.
His name is John. Hey, if you want to talk to us, send us an email. We'll read it on the air. Our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. And if you don't want to email us, but you still want to talk to us, come talk to us at Facebook at the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or you can tweet at us at Square Roots Pod.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
What about Zeldas? Why aren't Zeldas in the show notes, John?
Wow.
Sexist.
For Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
I've been Vanessa.
I guess I've been Jim then. Oh, see you guys. I gotta go.
And Matthew wasn't on tonight's episode.
Yeah, no Matthew.
No Matthew. Bye.
Matthew. To me, Matthew.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Matthew.